folks. I'm Craig Lipinski.
I'm Seth Castellum.
And I'm Megan Lipinski.
And you're listening to episode 25 of Ludowave Radio, the smooth sounds of video game talk. And Chris
sounds different today.
He's a little more feminine, I guess. It's all,
slightly, though.
It's all the marathon training. Chris is indefinitely indisposed.
Yeah, he's doing stuff.
Rip in peace, Chris.
He's got more important stuff than Ludowave Radio right now.
He's at Disneyland he's in that Disneyland in the sky for the next for the next 6 months. Disney World, my mistake. You've never wasted time at Disneyland.
And that's the only place I've ever met him is Disneyland. That's why he's never going back.
He's went to spend time with the riffraff. No, Chris is definitely indisposed, and we wish him well. And because people seem to enjoy Megan's presence, and she lives here and all. Thought maybe we'd have her on.
Not every time though.
She's just like, fuck that.
I got Fallout to play.
Only when she's had enough alcohol does she want to be on.
What beer are you on? What number is that?
This will be 3.
Okay.
It's confidence juice.
I'm very gently placing them on the desk.
Okay. Yeah, no sudden bangs. Yeah,
koozies.
It took us a half an hour to set this episode up. One time Chris...
And I fixed most of it.
You did, Seth.
Seth did a good job. One time Chris was visiting, and we were going to do the podcast with him here, and Seth... where do you live? Mexico City? Something like that.
I live in San Diego.
San Diego, California, USA. And we realized it would be a bit difficult because you need to have headphones on, otherwise the microphone picks up the speakers. You got to have 2 headphones. And that is actually surprisingly difficult to do on a computer unless you have some sort of splitter, and I don't have one of those. You can't even connect 2 pairs of Bluetooth headphones. It doesn't make any sense. I don't understand it. So
the problem is that Skype only accepts one headset at a time. Like there's no pick this and this option in Skype, right?
So you just can't have a 3-way fun time call.
Well, I mean,
No.
But if you were able to split the audio Skype from that one source, Skype wouldn't know. It would still just see it as that one source, I think.
Right.
We weren't able to figure that out, so...
Or go to Radio Shack.
Which
was Seth's first suggestion.
There's still Radio Shacks here. They're not booming and everything's overpriced. I don't know how the 2 that still exist are staying in business, but there's still a couple.
Well, when you need to build your own transistor radio, you know where to go.
Jesus Christ.
So I haven't been up to very much.
No?
No.
All right. Honeymoon's over? What's
just
nothing going on over there?
It's basically the same. No, I got a job. I am employed now. There's that.
Oh yeah, I read about that.
So that's good. That was a bit unique. I had a phone interview and it went well, and then I had an in-person interview, and that was like an hour and a half, and that went well. And then at the end of the interview, the owner of the company said, the next step is for, any candidate to have dinner with me and my wife, with their significant other. And I almost thought it was like deadpan humor at first. And I paused and I'm like, I can't tell if you're joking. And he's like, no. And I'm like, oh, great. I just totally offended this man and his plans to have dinner.
It sounds very swingerish. It sounds like he's trying to
Yeah.
Well, they definitely said a prayer before dinner, so I don't think that has anything to do with it.
I don't know. You could probably pray and also be a swinger.
Yeah, what's wrong with that? Isn't Jesus all about sharing?
Yeah.
I don't know.
See,
I never met the man. I was very anxious about the dinner. I don't, the going to dinner with a potential employer that you don't really know yet is just, to me, it was a little intimidating. And But it went okay, right? It wasn't. Yeah, it went as well as could be expected.
We talked about cats for like 45 minutes.
Oh yeah, I mean, Megan and his wife talked about cats for a very long time.
I mean, you got hired, so obviously it went well.
Right.
Yeah. I think that's because I ragged on Tootsie Rolls. And he's like, "Yeah, fuck Tootsie Rolls," and so that's good.
Oh, man.
We bonded over Tootsie Rolls.
I would not have been able to join in on that one. I would have vehemently defended them.
Why?
I would have gone to the
yeah.
grave for those Tootsie Rolls.
Why would you eat a Tootsie Roll when you can just eat actual chocolate?
Because it's chewy and it gets stuck in your teeth.
Oh, it's disgusting. No, you guys are terrible.
And they got the flavored ones, like the vanillas
Right?
and strawberries
Oh
and stuff.
no,
Yum.
they taste like how scented candles smell. I don't want that.
All right, well, listen, next
What do
time
you
I'm
mean you
walking
don't
through
eat
Yankee Candle, I'm not going to bite the candles anymore.
Good, you see.
Votive candles are for snacking.
They're good. Of course, I fucking loved those wax lips. I don't even know if they still
Oh,
sell
hell
them.
yeah.
Oh, disgusting. You guys
Yeah.
like the worst fucking candy. You probably eat those fucking wax soda bottles, too.
Yeah.
Oh, those are great.
Oh, my God.
Trash candy forever.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, I only eat Ferrero Rochers and other classy candies.
Oh, man, I hate Ferrero Rocher.
Other classy
bourgeois candy.
confectionaries. That's what we call them in the upper class.
My grandniece went trick or treating, right?
One more time to the back up. What is this family tree that you? What is this chain migration? What are you guys doing?
My grandniece went trick or treating, and she had a pile of reject candy that she hated, and I was like, "Oh fuck yeah, I'll eat all of that. I'm gonna eat all except
They're
for the."
Necco wafers.
There's Necco wafers and Smarties and Dots and
Oh
all
my
that other
god,
shit.
Necco wafers are amazing. They taste
I
like
know.
candy chalk. It's like eating
So
chalk, and it's
bad. It's so
fantastic.
bad. I'm like the worst Connecticut but Necco wafers can fuck right the hell off.
Oh my god, it's menthol flavored chalk discs. It's
Seth understands.
You guys are the worst.
Next podcast, Necco wafers the whole time.
please. Oh my god, I'll just be munching on them. Yes, I'm gonna buy me a sleeve.
All right. Well, I'm employed. I ate a pizza in front of a stranger.
Your wife ate an entire.
Is that related?
Megan ate the entire pizza in front of me. So good.
What? They paid for my pizza. I was going to eat it.
She's the only one who drank alcohol too. She's like, "Fuck yeah, I'm drinking."
I'm having a beer in this whole pizza.
I hope it was an extra large pizza.
My wife.
It was
It's an
plate-sized
intimidation
pizza
move,
set.
man.
It's an intimidation move.
Yeah.
I ate this whole vegetable pizza. Your move, bitch.
And I probably talked the most too.
You did talk about it, yeah. That's okay. You kept the ball
It
rolling.
sounds like a great wingman right there.
That's
Please employ my husband.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Seth, how have you been?
I've been all right. I shaved all my facial hair off because I just had a compulsion to do so. And I look like a fucking dork with no facial hair. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you don't look great.
No, I've never seen my face ever since I grew hair when I was 15ish, 16. I don't know. I've never shaved my chin and lip. And man, my upper lip is just thin and terrible looking. I don't even know what I was thinking, man. It's not a good look. And I mentioned this on the boards that we post on, and I feel like people thought I was fishing for compliments because they're like, "No, you look good" and stuff. I'm like, "No, I don't. It's bad. It's just bad all around."
I'm not going to humor you. You look ugly as shit.
I know. Thank you.
I haven't
Thank
seen
you.
it.
Oh my god! Don't show her any pictures.
She's not allowed on the CB. That's Craig's private time.
Yeah, I've made that mistake in the past.
Oh.
Yeah, no, it's bad. Yeah, I'll send you a picture, Megan. It's terrible.
Cool.
Though. But it's starting to grow in. The second it started growing in, I immediately started looking better. So I don't know. I look just like a dork, like the hugest dork. It's ridiculous.
Actually, the funny thing is, I'm right there with you. I just I trimmed my beard to. I didn't shave it off, but I trimmed it to very little because sometimes for me, I don't know about other dudes, but my facial hair does not grow in consistently symmetrically. One side of my head in this particular spot will have more hair, or this one will have it'll be sparse. It's just stupid.
You're like a messed up chia pet.
Yeah, they don't really give you an owner manual on beards. You just don't do anything and they grow, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to look good. So every so often, every few months, I have to do like a little bit of a soft reset and trim it down to, almost nothing. And so I look pretty stupid too. So
It's so.
We've been together for like almost 5 years, and this is the first time I've seen it like this.
Nope. You've seen it like this, and you had the same exact reaction. You've seen it before.
The memory.
Yeah, I guess so. You've seen it before.
Is it just like unbridled repulsion?
I was very surprised.
That's her way of saying yes. I was repulsed by
yeah,
my. I married
nice
this
way.
fucking thing. Your head looks like a cantaloupe.
Yeah, you gotta hide it. You just gotta hide the face, man.
Yeah, that's what the BF. You gotta hide my face.
I look cool with the hair on. I'm like, it's just gone. It was like cool to like super dork. I don't know.
I understand.
Anyway,
all of
no,
those
that's
feelings.
me. I was just been
that's
looking
exactly
dumb.
the transition. Cool to super dork. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
But it's coming back.
It'll grow back.
Yep, that's one of the body parts that does grow back.
Just don't cut off your tail.
Oops. Too late.
Megan,
Uh-oh.
how have you been?
Fine.
Did you
I don't know.
did you eat a whole pizza in front of some strangers?
Well, yes. Of course I did.
You've listened to the podcast. You know
I've listened to
you
the
know what these
podcast.
segments are.
Yeah, but I don't know. Nobody really cares.
Nobody
But
cares about us either. I hate to break it to you.
You tweet on the internet, sometimes with other humans.
This is the personality part where like people are like, oh, you're so relatable, and that makes them listen to the bullshit where we start talking about horrible video games.
Well,
This part's essential. Come on, pull through. Make up a lie.
okay. Yeah, nope. I'm really bad at lying, so it's really hard to lie on the spot. I'm doing great. Everything's wonderful.
Should come prepared next time.
I'm sorry.
I finally found somebody worse at this segment than me.
My God.
Sorry, Seth.
Can't bring
No,
on any of my
do me a
multimedia
favor.
projects, can I, Megan?
Well, no. I can talk about things that I plan to talk about.
So Megan had a job review today, and she got like outstanding and everything because her boss fucking loves her.
And I'm
Gold
good at my
stars.
job.
And also that, so I hear. So she's doing really good. So good for her. And then
Yay.
she bought a laptop today because she's going back to school.
Woo.
Ooh, cool.
She's going for her master's in some esoteric hospital stuff.
Hospital administration.
She can administrate a hospital to you if that's what you want.
And also be RHI certified.
That was a weird draw.
Well, I was listening to what was like coming out of my mouth and also in my headphones. And so it was distracting.
Also, you can hear yourself twice.
Yes.
Awesome.
I told
that's
you.
terrible.
Yeah, but I didn't quite catch on until now.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I
it's
didn't
rough.
quite understand the severity of the issue myself.
It's fine.
All right. Well, I guess that's Megan. She didn't come prepared.
Megan's fine.
All right. You want?
I mean, good for her because somebody's got to bring money into this household. Craig.
He's employed now. And
Oh,
also
right.
he's
That
doing
doesn't
art.
work. That doesn't work. The starting
Yeah,
this
no,
episode.
I'm employed and I do art. And I do the
job
laundry
that day.
around
He's
this
like
place.
the best.
I'm all right.
I just go to work every day.
All right, so let's talk about some video games because she's going to start saying nice things about me and I want to hear it. So
You should probably talk to your
For
therapist about
posterity.
that,
for
Craig.
posterity, we'll immortalize it on Apple Podcasts. So I've been playing a few things. I played a couple games that I'm not going to play again. Which is actually they're games that I started playing again, and then I realized I don't want to play them, and I'm not going to play them again. The first one is Bulletstorm, which is free on PlayStation Plus for PS4 this month.
Right.
And did you play Bulletstorm when it came out?
I played it when it came out, but I got bored after like 3 chapters or something.
See, I really liked it when it came out. It came out surprisingly almost 8 years ago. It came out like 7.5, something like that, years ago.
Right.
And I remember thinking, because the way Bulletstorm works is that it's published by Epic, developed by People Can Fly. Both of those companies obviously had some hand in Gears of War. And so in some ways it's very Gears of War-ish. There's all the men characters are beefy and oversized, and it's a shooter, and it has a very... I don't think Cliff Bleszinski had any hand in this game, but it has a very Cliff Bleszinski style sense of humor. It's very frat boy. It's very linear, like a lot of shooters were at the time, but I think the way that it decided to go against the grain was to have like this arcade style gameplay where how you killed your enemies, the style, played a factor. So you had this sort of electro leash where you could like pull objects or pull enemies towards you. You could kick them into the air and shoot them and pull them into fire or other hazards and pull objects on them and all this other stuff. And periodically you'd be evaluated and you get points. The game even had an arcade mode called Echoes where you could play, I think with other people as well, to get a high score. And I thought it was a really cool concept, and I really enjoyed it when it first came out. The game's still okay. It's just aged weirdly. Like, just... there's nothing really wrong with the gameplay necessarily. It's just, strangely, 7 years might as well be an eternity, I guess, at this point. It feels old in a way I didn't anticipate.
Is it not fun anymore to like slide into people and pop them into the air and then shoot them and pull them down to the ground?
No, it's not, and I don't know why. Because, I mean, I did enjoy the game. I'm not, like, rewriting history. I really did. And I remember enjoying it, but I don't like it now. It does some interesting things, though, because it really does, like, funnel you into doing stylish things. Like, the gameplay feels bad if you're not doing that. Because early on, you can't. Early on, you don't have those abilities. You don't even have, like, the electric leash. So you can just shoot at dudes. And it takes, like, a whole clip to kill human enemies. Like, it feels bad to just straight shoot at people. And so the game does interesting things to encourage you to use those abilities. I mean, it is an interesting game, but it's just not as fun as I remember. Oh, and it's 300% not funny. Like, it wants to be. It's definitely frat boy humor. That's never been my style. It wasn't my style in 2011. I fucking hate it now. Like, it's fucking stupid.
Wow.
Do you have examples?
Do I have examples? Nah, because they're all just like cursing at each other and like drinking beer and like like early.
There's a really early on spot, I think, where you like slide down some sort of chute or something and right into somebody, and then your guy's like, "Rise and shine, birthday bear." Is that still funny?
No, it's not. They had like a red ring of death joke like early on when the automatic doors on your spaceship breaks, and there's like a red ring of death like symbol on it.
Right.
I'm like, oh, that's good. Stick it to Microsoft, the only platform this is on.
Most of the humor like came from them just like saying fuck every other like word, right?
Yeah, like making like, I don't know, like fart jokes and stuff. Stupid.
Okay.
I mean, I would almost like to see like how a game like that would work with slightly modern sensibilities, but I'm just surprised that it just didn't age as well as I thought. I don't know why. Like, I can't pin it down. It just doesn't feel as good. I'm not sure why that is.
Did you get as far as like getting the sniper rifle with the bullets you could curve and stuff?
No, I didn't even get that far. I'm like, nah, this is fine. Because I'd rather just have like the memory of like enjoying the game, and then I guess at this point just accepting, yep, it was just a product of 2011. I liked it in 2011. I don't need to like it now.
It's fair.
And I didn't pay any money for it, so, you know. On a similar note, I also revisited Deus Ex Mankind Divided. And I won't be coming back to that. I like Deus Ex. Like,
which Deus Ex is that?
That's
like,
I'm sorry, that's the most recent one.
Okay, that's the most recent.
Yeah. I like Deus Ex. I'm probably like one of like 7 people that actually liked Invisible War. I just couldn't bring myself to finish Mankind Divided, and I periodically come back to it, and I'm just like, nope, not doing this. And I think this is the last. I actually uninstalled it. I don't think I'm coming back to it. what don't I like? So, have you played any of these, Seth?
No, I played the very first one, which I don't think has much to do with the later ones.
What I'm about ready to talk about, I actually think it is present in the first one and present in all of them, and I've always known it was there. You notice it, but I think it's just maybe just way worse in Human Revolution and Mankind Divided. So these take place in real world-ish locales. It's near future, so they're not exactly the same. And, it is still fiction. So, like, even though, it's like Seattle or whatever, it's not exactly Seattle. But the way that it works is, like, you're in a place that is ostensibly supposed to be, like, a city block composed of, like, streets and, like, buildings. And from a video game level design perspective, they're actually very interesting. The way that these pieces interconnect and how you can access different parts of this open world-ish map by, crawling through vents, by hacking computers, by, subterfuge, by sneaking, whatever. That's very interesting from a gameplay perspective, and then seeing how those pieces connect. But for me, it's really difficult to reconcile that gamey aspect with the fact that it has the window dressing of like a real city, because it's not behaving like a real city. And for me, trying to navigate these spaces as if they were like a real city is impossible. I can't do it. I can't look at them like a video game space either, because it's supposed to be fucking Prague. It's not like Super Mario. It's not the fucking Mushroom Kingdom. Like, it's Prague. And so I treat it like a real city, but it doesn't behave like one. And I think all the games do that in the series, looking back. And it's just finally broken my fucking brain. I can't do it.
You don't like climb through vents and go through laser grids and stuff to get around your city, Craig?
No, I don't. Like, I don't understand. Like, I'm in an apartment building, and it has the window dressing of an apartment building, but it doesn't behave like one. It doesn't really look like an apartment building that I can recognize in the real world. And I don't understand, like, why the vent in this one guy's bathroom goes to the kitchen in this apartment next door, and none of the other ones do that. So, like, I don't know why that is. And it doesn't make any sense. From a game perspective, it's really interesting. It rewards that exploration and using different skill sets. But from, like, trying to relate, your real-world understanding of things, like, none of that applies, even though it looks like the real world. And that's just I can't do it anymore. And that also extends to like the more set piece environments, like the missions that you go on the standalone environments. Like, this looks like an office, but every desk is placed here so I can take cover and hide. It's not really an office. And so for me, I can't see both at the same time. I can't see the office as a video game environment. I either see the video game environment and tune out the office, or I just see an office, which is what happens more often, and don't really process the video game aspects of it. So okay. I can't do it anymore. And that, like, Human Revolution, like, it's draped in sepia, and with Human Revolution, I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. I can appreciate that this is sepia. I mean, because Invisible War and Deus Ex were like blues, like cold colors, and now they're going with warm colors, and I'm sure there's some sort of thematic thing in that I'm whatever the fuck. Right. But I thought it was cool in Human Revolution and Mankind Divided. I'm like, fuck, everything's fucking orange. This fucking sucks. Like, everything, I cannot make anything out because it's all orange. So the gameplay is good, but I can't subject myself to that anymore.
I'm sorry.
Well, I just thought it'd be interesting to bring up, because it's just, I think that kind of like disconnect in terms of like that level design, trying to cram like a video game, like a really gamey level design into like a real world aesthetic. For me, just broke my brain. I couldn't do it anymore.
I just feel like that's just been a thing forever and just sort of accepted in video games, right?
But what other games can you point to that are like that? On that level.
Or not on that level, but like even just like in Resident Evil 2, you use a ladder to get to the second floor in the police department. There's not stairs in the lobby anywhere.
I think it has to do with the level of detail. Yeah, you're right. I didn't think about like something like Resident Evil and the police departments in the mansion. No, that's true. Those don't quite have like the same like level of detail though. I think that level of detail is what might be separating it there. Maybe
it's like a why can't I think of the word? Man, I'm getting Alzheimer's. I swear to God, I'm gonna have dementia in like 2 years. It's gonna be the worst.
Make for a good podcast, though.
I'll just talk about the same game every week. It's
new to you.
It's like a uncanny valley, but for like level design.
Yeah,
or rural location is what.
Yes.
What I was trying to think of.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah. No, I like that. Yep. And it's tough for me. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting old and I can't. That's a product of just me being like just an old fart and like stupid. I've also been playing Dragalia Lost. But I've been falling off a little bit. I was playing it every day, and now I'm not. And I mentioned that, and someone said, "Oh, you're not into it anymore." And that got me thinking about like modern games as like games as a service, as like live services. And the thing is, like I've played over the past like month and a half, however long Dragalia Lost has been out. I've played probably about 50 hours of it. That's a pretty healthy amount, especially for a phone game. And it's weird that with a live services game, you're almost expected to play in perpetuity. And if you don't, that must mean the game sucks.
Man, that's why I can't do games as service. I can't just hang with one game forever.
Right. Usually I can't either. I've played a lot of Destiny. I played a lot of Overwatch. I think those are like the real two examples for me. But yeah, generally I can't either. And I think that like games, like live service games, more than anything else, that kind of like philosophy is what worries me more about the future of games and like the things that like other people whine about, like microtransactions or like SJWs or whatever. Mm-hmm. Well, microtransactions and pricing and like loot boxes, yeah, those are things to be concerned about. SJWs aren't, but yes, pricing structures are things to be concerned about. But if you're building a game to be like a live service, all live service games are built on heavy repetition. That's it. Like I don't think that there's any example that runs counter to that. You're basically doing the same thing over and over again. And sometimes you enjoy it, and sometimes you don't. Like Destiny, between the two Destinies, I've probably played 400 or 500 hours of Destiny. I mean, clearly I got something out of those loops. But other times you're like, yeah, I played 50 hours of Dragalia Lost. Maybe I'm all set. I don't know. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. But I don't think that's not a fail. That's not necessarily that the game is bad. I think it's just more of an indictment of like the style of like live service that like you're expected to just keep indulging those loops forever for the rest of your life.
Yeah, like I played probably a good 40 hours of Battlefront 2 and I'm good. I've had fun with it. I'm done.
Yeah, and I'm some games, sure, it's fine. I just don't want to see too many games, particularly AAA games. A lot of AAA games are going towards like even like Assassin's Creed is kind of a live service. They put in new like boss battles and stuff periodically.
Right.
I mean, there's also like a big like single player game on top of that, so like I wouldn't worry about that like too much in that specific example. But like you can see where that would creep more and more and more until like your single player games are just a bunch of like shit you do over and over again to get like gems each week or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want that. That's what I'm saying. But I still like.
The kids want it, Craig. The kids are going to put us in that direction.
Well,
with the Fortnites and the Pubagas.
Yeah, I guess I can. Yeah, that's true. They will.
And it's going to get into the single player games, Craig. And then there's just not even going to be any new video games. There's going to be 5 games that are just games.
They just constantly add new seasons, new seasons and new loot boxes. That's it.
New cosmetics.
Yeah, that's. Yeah, maybe I'm just being an old fart then. I'm fine with it, like in a limited sense. Like I'm fine with some games like that. I don't want all of them to be like that.
Yeah, no. What'll happen, I think, is that like a bunch of publishers will try chasing that, and then it probably won't work out with them, and then they'll go back to something else. They're just always trying to chase where the money is, and then that just always ends at some point.
But where the money is always gotten kind of progressively worse. And I feel like a lot of players don't know when to actually like cry wolf, I guess. Like they were upset because they were like $7 expansions and like the 7th generation. Like, oh, I'm sorry, your 360 game with like 800 hours of content has the $7 expansion. How terrible for you.
Right.
But they whined about that. And now, then it was, in-game currency. Then it was loot boxes. Like, all down the line, there's certainly a valid discussion to these things, but, like, they've just been angry about everything, but also buying it. So there's been no, like, real, like, earnest feedback on these things. And it's just, I can see it maybe getting worse from here.
There's a limit though. People are going to hit. People hit the limit with. When I was just talking about Battlefront 2. I mean, that was a whole thing where EA and Disney had to do a 180 on their whole business model for that game.
That's true, and they may have to like revisit how a lot of things work, especially if there's more legislation in terms of like loot boxes. I think like Belgium, for instance, doesn't allow them.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not trying to be like an alarmist. I'm not trying to be like an old fart going like all the games are getting sucky. Like I still play a lot of games and they're good. I just thought about that idea that someone thought like after I played 50 hours of a phone game when I generally don't play phone games, and then stopping was a bad thing. And I think that's just how we look at like live service games. It's just like these prison cells where you just gotta fucking run on the treadmill forever.
You just gotta keep having the same fun.
The same fun.
Constantly.
The same fun forever, constantly. Yeah. I've also been playing...
With that being said, please keep listening to Ludowave Radio for years and years to come.
That is correct.
One day with loot boxes.
Oh, yeah, please. Let's get in on that money.
I've been playing Transistor on Switch. Do you ever play Transistor?
What the hell is Transistor?
Are you feeling Super Giant Games? They did Bastion.
I know of Bastion. Yes.
Transistor was their game that followed Bastion. You're unfamiliar. Okay,
no,
so
not in the slightest.
It's beautiful. Has great music, great voice acting. The first time I played it wrong, so I kind of hated it. It has a battle system that is, how do I put this? It's real time and turn based at the same time, with active time battle. Also,
no, I don't like this. This is already too complicated for me. You're losing me.
I don't know. Well, I guess I'm sort of conflating ATB with cooldowns, but I mean, what is ATB if not just a big cooldown?
It's a cooldown.
It's a cooldown.
Yeah, I agree.
So the way it works is like when you trigger a battle, the battlefield just sort of, I think it spans pretty much your whole screen. They occur in like generally prescribed locations on the map, and it happens right there on the field. And sometimes there'll be like obstacles and barriers to break line of sight with the enemy, line of fire. Sometimes there's like hazards, but you can run around and you can equip different abilities to the face buttons and press those face buttons to attack enemies in real time.
It's like a strategy game field, yeah.
Well, it kind of looks like that, but it's almost like a top-down, like Tales of game is kind of
what
okay.
I'm looking at pictures is what I'm going off of right now.
Let me get to that. That's the real-time component. The turn-based component, or as close as you can get to a turn-based component, the game actually instructs you on how to do it. The game doesn't leave you high and dry. The game tells you how to operate this. But the first time I played it, I thought of it as more as like a suggestion or just like one tactic you could use, maybe if you wanted. And that's not the case. It's absolutely something you have to do. Like, it's how you have to play the game. And so you trigger like this time stop, basically. And then you have, I don't know, I guess you can call it a stamina bar. You have like a bar, and you can move around, and you then can also trigger actions. So you can stop time, move your character behind an enemy, do a particular attack, turn around, do like a ranged attack at another enemy, and then move behind cover. And as long as the bar hasn't depleted, you can do all those things. And then you hit the time button again, and it goes back to where you were, and she commits all those actions in quick succession.
Oh, cool.
And then you're sort of like vulnerable because now your bar is empty. You can't even attack in real time now because you can't do anything. You're sort of vulnerable.
Right.
So attacking in real time is now that I'm playing it quite differently this time, is really more of a defensive measure where like an enemy got too close or you turned the corner and you did something stupid or whatever. Attacking in real time is really more of a defensive measure. Using like the turn-based, strategy part is really how you be more offensive. And now that I understand that, instead of because before I was just running around like just trying to hack and slash stuff. No, you will die. That's not going to work for you. The enemies are quite strong. But now that I'm playing, committing to using that planning element, it's going a lot more smoothly, and I'm enjoying it a lot more than I did the first time.
Speaking of playing games wrong, when I played Fallout 3 back when it came out, I did the opening tutorial and everything, where it teaches you all the systems of the game, and then I did not play the game for 2 weeks before picking it back up again, and I forgot that the VAT system existed entirely, and I played through a good 5-6 hours of the game without using VATs, and it was so goddamn hard. And then I finally accidentally hit a button and brought it up again. I was like, oh, right, this thing. That's how you just target things.
That's how you hit stuff.
So I actually don't use VATs a lot in Fallout. But it certainly makes the game more bearable because it's not it is a shooter, but it's not like Bethesda knows how to make a shooter in that engine. It's not a great engine for shooting.
The giant ants were fucking me up, though, and then once I got back to them with VATs and everything, it was much more manageable.
I guess it's a lot like that, yeah. I mean, it's almost exactly like that, I guess, in Transistor. Yeah. But it's a pretty good game. I'm glad I gave it a second chance because I'm enjoying it a lot more.
Cool.
And the last game I've been playing is Diablo 3.
Jeez, how many fucking games you playing, Craig?
I've been unemployed, so.
Unemployed.
Oh my god!
But Bulletstorm and Mankind Divided, I didn't play a ton of. It's been mostly Diablo. Diablo 3 came out on Switch, and that's what Megan and I, we've been playing that together.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever played Diablo 3, Seth?
I've never played a single Diablo game. No.
It's definitely a social game. I can see maybe killing time. I know you hate playing games while watching TV, but I feel like that's the only way you could play this game by yourself because there's not a lot happening. It's really more of a social game, I feel like. I have not played it since it first came out 6 years ago, and they added a shit ton of stuff. It's a whole different game. Speaking of live services, there's a live service element to it now. It has seasons or whatever. I have no idea what that is. I turned the game on, and it gave me 10 pages of what's new in Diablo, and I'm like, holy shit, I have no idea what's going on. You fucking lost me. Can I still mash buttons to kill things and take their pants? Great. That's what I want to do.
Yeah, you're playing the Switch version, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So that's funny because a lot of people are going to be playing for this for the first time on Switch, and there's just a whole bunch of updates, even though it's a game they've never played.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
And then you look at the season mode. It's season 27 or whatever the fuck it's on. And I'm like, oh, okay. I guess I missed all the other ones. That's funny. You're on the same season as The Big Bang Theory.
Oh, Jesus. What a great show. This episode is brought to you by The Big Bang Theory and Young Sheldon.
Bazoinga!
No, it's not. Did you say Bazoinga?
Yeah.
It's Bazinga, you Jesus Christ. I feel like you don't even watch The Big Bang Theory, the best television
Poser.
show ever made.
I know what it is. The joke was that I didn't know what it was.
No, okay. Don't explain it. Don't explain
You got it.
But Diablo 3 is great. I'm glad to be replaying it. But Megan has more of a social life than I do. I don't really do anything. So when she goes out, I have to I guess I'll play Mankind Divided or something. I can't.
You just don't have a second character that you play
No,
solo?
I don't. No. Don't want to get too ahead of Megan while she's out with her friends and I'm at home.
And you'll love this, Seth, because we play while also listening to TV.
When she has her own Switch, we play on 2 separate Switches while watching TV.
Sounds horrible.
And Craig would be like, Megan, are you coming? And I'm like watching the TV.
She's
Like you're gonna miss so many jokes in Big Bang Theory if you play like that.
right. Oh man. Well, Megan, what have you been playing? You've been playing Diablo 3, right?
I've been playing Diablo 3. I have a big, hulking, gorgeous barbarian woman. So, like, super into that.
I love using barbarian chicks in games. Like, ever since Golden Axe, I think, I'm always like, yeah, I'm going to be the big buff chick.
Hell yeah.
You fuck shit
I
up.
love a big, muscly girl.
Mm-hmm.
Back when I played, I think, Christ, it might have been Fable 3, there was this character named Hannah the Hammer. Yes.
Right.
So I modeled my character, because I started another character, and modeled her after that character, so she'd be big and buff.
Well, I think in Fable 3, the way your character's appearance worked was by using those skills. So, like, if you use melee attacks a lot, you just became a brick shithouse.
Yep.
Yeah.
And when I
did you two start dating when you both realized that you liked the Fable games?
The only two people on the face of the planet like Fable.
Yep.
Fable's good. Don't fucking fight me on this.
Blacksmithing.
Bazoinga, Seth.
Bazoinga.
What else have I been playing? Still playing Castle Cats. Going strong, day 450 something.
You need to explain this game to me a little better.
You gotta,
She spent a half hour explaining it.
No, I
Listen to
was
the
just
episode
like
I was
making
on,
dumb
Seth.
jokes about it, so I need to hear about it now.
it's a game with cats. You send them on
But
quests.
where does the castle come in? Who owns the castle?
Well, you as the guild leader own the castle.
Are you a human or a cat?
Well, technically the guild leaders are these three, like, cats you start with.
So you play as 3 cats.
I play as a bunch of cats.
But who are you?
All the cats. I am the combined consciousness of all the cats.
This game leaves a lot of unanswered questions, I feel like.
It's made
This
mostly
is
for
making
children.
me feel like uncomfortable.
This is
a
like,
little.
some existential dread in this game.
Yes, it's like the concept of legion. We are many. You're
And we'll
okay, so you're
kill your swamp creatures or what. I don't even know what the quests are.
does
She
each
doesn't
cat
They have titles.
You know,
No,
I'm
she,
just like, whatever.
she
go on
knows
the
what they
quest.
are. Does each cat you obtain like become a part of your whole?
They're part of the guild, but every cat has like 2 skills, and the quest requires certain skills. So you send cats with those skills out.
How many cats could go out on a quest together?
It depends on the quest. At max, it's 3.
So you could send one lonely cat out.
No, you have. If it's a 3-cat quest, you have to send 3 quests.
But is there 1-cat quest?
Yeah.
So, like, what is that?
That's
Just like going to the store to pick up milk? Is that... Don't get lost
going
on the
for
way?
a walk.
Going for what? Is that a quest?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
It's like forest, whatever the fuck. I don't know. I don't read.
I'm gonna
I
make
don't read
a-
the quest names.
I'm
like,
going to
what
make
are
a
the-
game
what do I
based
get from
on
doing
Megan's
this
description
quest?
of this game.
Sorry, Seth. What?
I said I'm going to make a game based on your description of this game, which will be a completely different game, and
It's
it'll
going
be
to be
amazing.
horrifying. Well, at least my version wouldn't have all the ads, all the video ads, and all of the different currencies.
Can you pay like 99 cents and get rid of ads?
No,
Oh my god.
no, but they'll take your money.
Yeah, how much money have you spent on this, Megan?
Maybe like $20.
So Craig told me he spent like 2,000 on.
I
Dragali
did. I said
Lost,
no
so-
such fucking thing.
Listen, I would know because he's like, "Hey, honey, I want to get this game. Can we get this game?" And I'm like, "Yeah, whatever." I mean, if you told me you spent $2,000 on Dragalia Lost, we'd be having a serious discussion.
I've spent $0 on
See, so
Dragalia
we're good.
Lost.
I'm just trying to start. I'm just trying to start some drama on the podcast.
Thanks, Seth. Gotta keep
Yeah.
it interesting.
Because
Well,
Megan didn't come prepared.
well, no, I came prepared to talk about Fallout 76.
All right, so why did you open with Castle Cats?
No,
then?
I opened with Diablo, sort of.
It's a build-up. You forced her into
Listen.
opening with Diablo. By
I
the
thought
way,
it was, well,
Craig.
I didn't push. No, that was a good. That was called a segue. In the
You did it.
in the podcast professional sphere, we call that a segue. And it was very good.
I'm proud of you.
It's like an okay segue at best.
I'll take what I can get.
So, I played the beta for Fallout 76 because I love Fallout, and I was so excited. It was okay. I've got a pros and cons list.
Well,
Nice.
well, why don't you start with like what the? Because I mean, I've already talked about the game a little bit, but that was pre-playing it. So why don't you sort of explain the basics of this?
Okay, so you wake up in Vault 76 after a hard party because it's Reclamation Day, and your vault's goal was to leave the vault 25 years after the bombs dropped and go reclaim the wilds of the nuclear ravaged world.
Like
West
Wally.
Virginia,
West Virginia.
country roads. Take me home.
So you get your supplies from the various Mr. Handies. One of those things is
I knew you were going to be a little shit.
Tell me more about Mr. Handy.
As soon as that came out of her mouth.
the Mr. Handies. They all have really cute names, so that's fun.
They're robots.
Well,
Seth,
yeah, it's
do you
the
not
future.
know what a Mr. Handy is?
I don't recall
not a sex
Mr.
thing.
Handy.
I don't. It's not a sex thing. I don't think handies were in 3, and I don't think you played 4, right, Seth?
No, I didn't play 4.
I can't believe you didn't play 4.
Yeah, it was whatever.
Okay, well, moving right past that. But you get a party
Wait, 1
hat.
second. Are we going to have to pay for that Country Roads that Craig was
No,
singing?
he didn't sing the right
No
words.
algorithm would be able to pick up my tone deaf ass.
So,
All right. Go
so
ahead.
yeah, you get all your shit, and they're like, get out there. The Overseer has left, and she leaves breadcrumbs for you to follow.
Literal?
So you are...
Nah, holotapes.
Oh, okay, sorry, I didn't hear Seth's question. Because I can hear 2 of me talking.
Ooh.
Sorry, everyone. So, let's think. You exit. You and all the other assholes who just left the vault. Because you are in a live environment with a bunch of other randos.
You know what's interesting is that contrasting with when you started the beta when everyone else started the beta.
Yeah.
And I started it later. And when you stepped out on the vault, there was like a dozen other like dickwads just like jumping around and like weird backwards walking animations and looking at the sky and just being idiots. And I walked out and there was just fucking no one there.
And then you met somebody who was killing a cat.
And then I met someone who killed a cat and then asked to be in a party together. Yeah, that happened.
That's terrible. That Castle Quest cat did not complete his...
No.
No, I gave him a thumbs down, but then I also took the cat meat because I needed to eat.
Because that's one of the mechanics in this game. So not only do you have to traverse the irradiated wasteland, although it's really not a wasteland, it's actually beautiful scenery, you have to make sure you are well hydrated and fed. So that's...
Man, this sounds like work. This sounds like how I already have to keep myself alive.
Yeah, and all of your weapons have conditions, and so does your armor. So in 3, there were conditions, and then 4 didn't have that, and now it's back. Plus, you have to micromanage your character's, food and water intake. So my character's an alcoholic, because I ran out of, non-alcoholic beverages. Whoops. And it's actually not that odious. Like, what level am I? Like 12?
Yeah, you got up there.
Yeah. So, at that point, I was comfortable with the concept of having to feed and water myself. In the beginning, it was very annoying, because you don't have anything.
Which, you say that, but, I have a ton of shit. I have a ton of water.
Good.
And I just kill things and take their meat. Mm-hmm. I have a ton of that stuff.
Where do you
Good.
get the water from?
You loot it. I mean, you can drink irradiated stuff like Nuka-Cola or whatever. You're just going to pick up some
Right.
rads from that.
Right.
It's almost like, it's like they took a lot of different inspirations. I mean, obviously, their own Fallout games being one. And maybe like live service games, maybe like Destiny, but also like survival style games like Rust or Ark, and then doing like a shitty job at any one of those things. It doesn't go far enough in any one category. Like as a single player game, it's frustrating because things are tuned for multiplayer. And so like you'll be in a building exploring and you'll come across like a terminal to read or a holotape to listen to or whatever. And so you pause and you're sitting there and you're like reading this terminal and all of a sudden you start getting attacked by a mob that you just cleared out because they respawn so quickly to, go along with the fact that there are other people playing.
Yeah.
So you can't really play it as like a single player, and playing it as multiplayer. I don't really think there's a lot of benefit playing as multiplayer other than like the increased. There's no like class type. It's not like I'm going to draw comparisons to Destiny. I'm going to piss off your girlfriend. I'm sorry, but in Destiny you have different classes and different subclasses and different abilities that make partying up dynamic. You don't have that in Fallout 76. Everyone's the same stupid schlub with the same dumb fucking shitty weapons.
Well, I would say that eventually with the perks, that'll change.
But how drastically? What's going to change about that? Like everyone's just going to be, it's just going to be the same guns. Like what's going to, because I mean, I haven't seen anything in the perks that would dramatically alter, the gameplay. Like how is, so even if like there was an advantage, a greater advantage of teaming up other than just enhanced damage and safety in numbers, I don't see the dynamicism where like me teaming up with Jim Bob 457 and Mr. Penis XXX. There's no advantage to teaming up with one over the other. I mean, maybe he's got a better gun, but it's the same fucking gun. Like there's no, he doesn't have like a superpower or anything.
Well, we're all still in the beginning. Like, I don't know what all the perks are.
Yeah, but, well, okay, fair point. And I guess they could, do something really weird and interesting later on. How would that fit in the Fallout universe?
Dude, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, that was almost like a rhetorical question.
Oh, okay.
Because
well, I don't know.
Right, well, I know the answers I don't know, but I'm just sort of thinking, like, how could they make that work in that framework that they already have?
There's not like a tank. There's not like a tank and a healer and a scout and stuff, right? It's not.
No.
Not in a traditional sense.
No.
Yeah.
You can have perks that sort of build yourself around that, but it doesn't. I don't think it really makes it. I can't see how that would be very distinctive in a group setting. Like, hi guys, my stim packs heal me for 20% more. Like, good. That's good for you, Ricky. We don't give a shit.
Right. I think, if you had a really high strength and you had a lot of perk cards that allowed for melee damage, so, like, you are essentially a tank because of your health increase and your melee damage, but there's no magic in Fallout, so shucks, no wizards.
But you see what I'm saying, though.
I understand what you're saying. I Craig watched me play the beta, and I didn't team up with anyone. I ran away from any of the people that were sharing.
Oh, that's
space
another
with
thing
me.
that breaks the single player experience. All these people got hot fucking mics on. They're fucking yelling at their girlfriends and shit in the background.
I had to listen to like 12-year-olds narrating what they were doing. I was like, are you making a YouTube video right now?
I think they're just talking to someone in the room.
Probably. It was annoying. I'm getting beat to shit by like 15 feral ghouls trying to feed myself and change my weapon in real time, and I have to hear him talk to his mom. So
about how to do emotes or whatever.
And I was just like, okay, well,
Oh man,
this isn't great.
but then as like a survival game or like a building game, like I don't see a lot of value in that either, especially considering what you build is impermanent. Not only impermanent, this is a great one too. I didn't notice this until we started playing. You can't fucking build like anywhere. You open up the build menu and it goes, nope, can't. It gives you like a red ring around the perimeter, like, nope, can't build here. And so you sort of wander around aimlessly until it turns green and you can finally build your impermanent structure.
And you also can't build anything. Like, you have to find either plans for things you build or recipes for food. You have like a couple of basics to start with.
Yeah, you can basically build a box to start with.
but after that you have to find plans. So
Wha-
it really encourages you to like look through everything and explore everything, but that's not super engaging for long periods of time. No. But
What
all
is
of
the-
sorry, go ahead, Seth.
What is the benefit of building things? Like, what does that do for you as a player?
So you actually build your camp. It's called your CAMP. I can't remember what the acronym is for. Somebody will tell us.
Something mobile platform. Or something
Yeah.
like that.
So you've got like this, it looks like an overhead projector, and it creates a sort of area where you can build. And what you build there is your crafting, your bed. You have stash boxes to put all your junk in, because
Okay.
you're still collecting junk. It's very important. But there's a lot of junk to collect. They're very generous with the junk.
Mm-hmm.
But that's your little mobile safe place, because nowhere is safe. And they do a very good job of making it feel like you cannot stop. There is no good place to like hole up and do your inventory management, because there's shit that's going to try and eat you.
But I also feel like there's not a lot of benefit. I mean, this is the problem where like their building component comes in and why it doesn't fully work, I think. And is that there's not a great benefit to build anything other than like
The basics.
like 4 walls with a bed with like a futon mattress on the floor and your stash box and then like your workbench. Like there's no reason why you would build an elaborate structure. There's no value to it
Right.
in the game.
Can people like visit you in your build? Okay.
Yeah,
Can they attack
yeah.
you while you're in there?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they can. I mean, the way the PvP works is that you have to be level 5. Both parties have to be level 5. And the first person to fire a shot, if you fire a shot at someone else, you do like 0 damage. You will continuously do like 1 point of damage until they shoot back at you.
Okay.
At that point, all bets are off. You can basically fuck each other up. So someone can storm into your house and start shooting at you. Sure, they're not going to do a whole lot of damage. You can set up like an auto turret on your space
Or inside.
and once they fire at you, I think the auto turrets
It'll
it'll aggro it. So, yeah, they can do that. Even the PvP seems a little half-assed. Doesn't seem a lot of value in the PvP even.
I avoided PvP and also others. So I think somebody shot at me, and I was like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's right. Some guy was chasing you, wasn't he? Wasn't he like chasing you?
I guess. There's no emote for like leave me alone. Maybe next patch.
I'm just wondering, like, what the design document for this game is. Like, what were their goals with this game? Because it just sounds like they just were throwing shit at a wall.
Money.
Haha. But yeah,
It doesn't
Yes.
seem like. I mean, I was so excited, and now it's very. I mean, I'm gonna play it because I bought it. And when I was not playing it, I was thinking about it. So clearly, it's already got its hooks, but it's not nearly as good as Fallout 4.
This is my relationship with Destiny. Do I really like this game? Maybe, maybe not. But I can't stop thinking about it.
They've also introduced a currency that you can spend real money on.
Oh yeah, the microtransactions are firmly in place, Seth. Those are there.
You have atoms, and you can earn atoms from completing challenges. I don't know where you find the challenges, but it's like, oh, you killed a robot, plus 10 atoms. You can buy an in-game Vault 76 hat for your character for 500 atoms?
Something like that. It's all cosmetic.
Yeah, it's
shit.
all bullshit. So yeah, I don't know. It'll be okay.
I guess here's my main question. Like, what's the sense of, like, accomplishment for the player? Like, what are they getting out of it? Like, what are you like, ooh, what part of it, like, feels good and rewarding?
I don't have an answer for that.
I think learning more about the folks is fun because the Responders is like one of the factions, And so you learn more about them, you become a responder. It's all part of following the overseer. So I imagine that will be very satisfying.
Okay,
think-
so story
I think-
and
Yeah.
lore components.
To do a counterpoint to that, for me, like, it's not satisfying because there are no humans. The only humans in the game are other players. There's only like 20 other players. They can be anywhere on the map. There's no other humans, and
They're corpses.
they're dead. So there are bodies. Anything else is a robot, and they just have no personality. Like, so anything that you learn about through the story, about like whether it's these responders which was like a faction that sprung up after the bombs dropped to help people. It's all through like holotapes and terminal, like just text. You're not interacting with anyone. You're not like really building an attachment to anyone because there isn't anyone to build an attachment to. And not that Bethesda games are like this bastion of, Shakespearean literature. They kind of fucking suck, but you still kind of need that there, I feel like. That's part of the world building.
Yeah.
So jury's out.
Nah, the jury's in. The game kind of sucks, but it wouldn't need much to be good, though, I don't think.
Get rid of multiplayer.
Get rid of multiplayer. That's not going anywhere. That's part of the game. But maybe
Make it
like
an option.
maybe more people on the map. Because I just feel like when you only have like 20 people on this map that's 4 times the size of Fallout 4, like I barely saw anyone when I was playing.
Yeah.
I was partied up with that one other person, but I think I saw maybe 1 or 2 other people while I was playing. I saw nobody.
I miss companions. That was the one thing. I was just like, oh man, it'd be great if I could hear Nick Valentine complain about all the crap I was picking up.
Oh, you could hear a 12-year-old talk to his mom. That's just as good.
That's very close.
You're right. I'll just follow them around.
This isn't fucking Fortnite.
Hey kid, carry all my shit.
This game sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
It's just all like these mediocre aspects of other games. It could be good. It's close to that. It's just not there. I don't feel that it is. I
But
can
I
see
will
myself.
be-
I can see myself playing more of it because I'm a masochist. But I'm not going to love it. It's going to be like eating a Tootsie Roll. Thank you for the Tootsie Roll, sir, but I'm hating it.
It you think you're done with the Tootsie Roll, and then what's this? Oh, there's more Tootsie Roll stuck up in your gums. It's like the candy that keeps on giving.
Yeah. It's a present after a present.
It's delicious.
How about you, Seth? What are you playing?
Oh my god, I don't even know if I want to talk about video
Please
games
do.
anymore. And this is funny because I only remembered playing this game as we were doing this podcast. I forgot about it completely. But I played through Batman Arkham Origins Blackgate Deluxe Edition is the full title there.
Is that that's the side scroller one, right?
Yeah, that's a side scroller one, and it's like more like classic Metroid-y. But man, this game is not great.
It's not good, is it?
Nah.
I played it on 3DS, I think.
I was playing the 360 version, the Xbox 360 version.
Oh, big man on campus.
Yeah, man, I had to figure out how to connect my 360 to the internet again. Because I don't have wires anymore. It's like almost good, but instead it's bad. First of all, the map is terrible. It's like, I don't know if it's the same as the 3DS and Vita version, but in this one the map's like isometric. But you can't like rotate it or anything. It's just stuck. It's just stuck in. So it's like 2D, but it's isometric, and these like levels curve around each other and stuff. So you can't figure shit out because like the maps are just like disappearing behind other parts and everything. It's bad.
I'm having a hard time visualizing what that looks like.
It's just terrible to navigate, is what it means.
It's very bad to navigate. Then there's like secret places. Like first of all, there's the detective mode from the Batman games that you could activate. But then there's like a scan mode too, where you got to like hold down a button and you got to like physically move the right analog stick around the screen to like find certain things. And you can't continue unless you find these things. Like there'll be like hatches or whatever, and you can't just like throw a batarang up at a hatch. First you got to use your dumb scanner, and then you got to scan, and then it'll like give you a little description about it, and then you could throw your batarang at the hatch, and then you could open it up. So it's like just slow paced and bad in that way.
That's how you know he's the world's greatest detective. He's like, I deduced I can throw my batter in here.
Because he can read.
I see a hatch. Let me scan that hatch.
Yep, it's a hatch.
He was checking for traps.
He's doing no such thing. He's so dumb in this game, man. I feel like and then there's like bombable walls, like it's like Metroid, like there's like different power ups you get, and there'll be bombable walls that you can't do anything, so you got to come back to them later. But there's no way to mark them on the map, so you forget where they are once you finally get like the bomb upgrade. You just got to wander around again like an idiot until you come across these bombable walls again and find your secrets and continue through the game.
And what these intuitive levels don't just naturally guide you back to these bombable walls?
Not in the slightest. And there's like three main sections in the game, and you could play them in any order. For the most part, you might like get stuck, but then you could go back and get a power up from another area and come back. So it's like very free form in which direction you tackle these three areas, which kind of makes it just even worse because you'll have different upgrades depending on how you're playing, which makes going back and backtracking like different every single time. I don't know. The fight system is like the Arkham games, except terrible because you could only attack. You could only attack guys who are like in front of or behind you, but sometimes like guys will pop up on your side and they'll like start trying to throw a punch at you, and you want to like turn and punch them, but instead you'll just like punch somebody else who's not trying to punch you, and so that's bad. And then at the end of the game, like there's like three big buttons. There's like who is it? Joker, Penguin, and who's the other dick face? Black Mask are like the three main bad guys, and depending on which one you fight last, then like Catwoman like will send you on a little errand at the end of the game, like literally a fetch quest to go just back through these areas just to deactivate bombs or whatever. And depending on which one you do, which boss you fight last is what mission you gotta do at the end, and then you get like a reward for it. But you only get that reward for that boss. So, like, to get, like, there's bat suits in the game. To get, like, all the bat suits, you got to play the game 3 times just so you could beat each boss last to get, like, a different part of the bat suit. It's infuriating. It's infuriating. And then Batman's, like, slow and dopey through the whole game. He's not, like, quick. He, like, runs slow and he comes to full stops, and you got to use your bat grapple to get around. It's just, like, very slow. It's like playing Metroid in Soup. And Batman's dumb.
Did you finish this game?
I did. It was relatively short.
Wow.
I didn't even. I put it down. I was like, no, not even.
It was like I think I beat it like in 6 hours. So it's not like it took a whole lot of effort out of me. But man, it like if they could just speed everything up and just give you like a better map and a better way to mark things, it could actually be a decent game. But they just made all these weird, dumb decisions in it, and I don't understand.
Sounds like Fallout 76.
Yeah, it was close. It's so, like I could easily see how to make this a good game. And then I've also been playing Rise of the Tomb Raider.
I want to get that. That's the new one, right?
No, it's the second one.
Oh, the new one's Shadow of the Tomb Raider or something, right?
New one's Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
I can't just call Tomb Raider 3. What the fuck, dude? I don't know what the fuck all these
There's already a Tomb Raider 3. They can't call it that.
They called the first one Tomb Raider, and there's already one of those.
Yeah, video games, man. Anyways, I'm liking this game a lot more than the quote-unquote first one.
So what draws the distinction between the two? Because to me, they were very similar. I enjoyed them both, but for you, what draws that distinction?
In the first game, and by the first game I mean whatever the 2015, whatever.
We all know what you mean. Don't be pedantic.
Okay. Had a shit ton of like cast and characters, and they were all terrible.
You were supposed to care about all these people. That's
no,
true.
It was so bad. Like I dreaded any time I had to like go back to any sort of camp where Lara had to interact with these people and do stuff because it was all dumb.
Oh, and the best part is when she doesn't have anyone to talk to at the camp, she just talks to herself.
She just talks to herself. She still does that here, but that's fine because she's more interesting than any of the other cast that was in the first game. I think most of them died in the first game, which is great because they're bad. So far in this game, you got like one buddy, and I haven't seen him since the beginning. So it's just like I'm enjoying not having to put up with like a stupid story constantly, like I did in the first game. It gets more to the gameplay. I feel like. I think the whole game takes place in snow after the desert level in the beginning. I don't like the hunting. I don't like having to hunt things. First of all, I don't like killing like deer and squirrels and rabbit just for the hell of it. But then it's just annoying because there's like a whole crafting system, and you got to like kill animals to get pelts, and you got to like strip trees to get bark, and for some reason you just find paper or cloth or whatever in chests. I don't know, and then like nuts and bolts. But then you could only carry so many of each item, but then you could craft items to let you carry more of these items, and it just seems like it's like a time waster. It's like just sort of putting in systems for the sake of like, look at these cool systems we have, but it's sort of just bogging me down in that regard.
I don't necessarily disagree with you in terms of it bogging it down, but I also kind of like it because I like resource management.
I like it for like crafting arrows and stuff. I think that's cool, but like in order like crafting pouches to carry more materials using materials is kind of like circular and dumb.
Yeah, you're right. I still like it though.
That's fine. I really like the environments are cool. I like exploring the environments. The environments are really interesting. I like finding caves and doing optional tombs, and there's like really cool and pretty stuff. And yeah, that's my favorite part. Like getting in fights with dudes, I don't really care about it. Just shoot some guys in the head with arrows or guns. It's very basic. My main draw is just exploration, which I liked in the first game, and this one seems to do it even better. So I think that's why I'm enjoying it.
It's slightly Metroidy too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like there's a bunch of points where it's like, oh, Lara's like, oh, I don't have the tools for this yet. I'll have to come back. And guess what? Fucking Batman Black 8, it marks it on the map where these places are that you need to come back to.
That's nice of whoever made this game and Lara Croft.
Yes, it's very nice. Crystal Dynamics is the developer.
Thanks,
it's very nice of everybody involved. So yeah, no, I'm enjoying this one.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I want to play the third one, but I'm cheap. I'm waiting for Target's going to have it on sale on Black Friday, so I'm just going to try and see if I can't get it then.
Yeah, there's some good Black Friday deals this year.
Yeah, I want to get the new.
No, wait. That's a question from the mailbag. Let's save that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's save that.
Let's save that.
I can't wait to not have an answer.
You could buy some gems in Castle Cats on discount on Black Friday.
Christ. I would.
No, that's it for me. I'm going to be playing. I was playing like a little bit of Dragon's Crown with Hugh, and we're going to be like doing a co-op Resident Evil marathon starting this weekend. Actually, we're going to do like Resident Evil 5 and 6 and the Revelations games and stuff. So
nice. Yeah, Hugh's really into Dragon's Crown. He really likes that game.
No, yeah, he's super into it. We're playing through on hard, and we're like doing pretty good. We got to the last boss, and he was just fucking us up. Though I was a lower level than him, so I was like dragging us down. It was basically my fault that we were losing.
Seth dead fucking weight Costello.
Yep. But no, that's it. That's it for me.
All right. Well, I guess we'll do some news. Am I doing this? Am I Chris?
Yeah. Yes, I'm not reading news. Jesus Christ. Okay. Have you heard me talk?
And we know Megan.
You did a great job.
Thank you, Megan. She's
You're
so
welcome.
supportive. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
What I don't bring in preparedness, I have enthusiasm.
Thank you. Yeah, that's the word. You were close.
I was like listening to myself talk. It's very distracting.
I'm sorry that has to happen.
No, that's fine.
Okay, so we had the final Smash Direct, and I was kind of... I have no right to be disappointed, but I was a little disappointed that, like, the last two retail characters were announced, and it's fucking Ken and a Cineroar.
Especially since there was that leak with, like, Banjo-Kazooie and Shadows. Obviously fake, but, man, that would have been... So like this leak that Seth is referencing, you're not familiar with it, it's referred to as like the Grinch leak for reasons we're not going to get into, but it was actually very elaborate. I mean, for a fake that wasn't real, there was a lot of effort put into that. And it alluded to like Shadow the Hedgehog and Isaac from Golden Sun and Banjo-Kazooie as playable characters, and obviously they didn't come to pass. We got Ken and Incineroar.
Who is Incineroar?
A giant cat Pokemon.
Yeah, it's a Pokemon.
The fire cat Pokemon.
Sold.
He's a wrestler. He wrestles.
He's a wrestler. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, Ken seems like an obvious choice as an Echo Fire for Ryu. I don't it's just in seeing Incineroar, I'm like, like to me, like this is just so disappointing. You know?
And Ken was actually leaked like a month or two ago, and people were like, "Oh, that's fake," but no, that one was real. There was like a picture of him and everything.
It's hard to keep like it's weird with like Nintendo leaks because once upon a time you wouldn't have believed a Nintendo leak. They didn't leak, and now they're sort of leaky. I think that's probably because they engage with a lot more partners now.
And just their like development sizes so they have to go to outside people
right, exactly. So there's more points of failure, and so like now you're like maybe that's a real leak, but like you don't know. And something like the Grinch leak, I want it to be real. I knew it probably wasn't, but there's just so much effort put into that. And I'm like maybe.
Yeah, it just seemed like so dumb and mundane. It wasn't like look at this cool leak. It was like here's like some advertising material from a paper company
on a Snapchat.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Ken and Incineroar are not the only characters. Piranha Plant is a post-release pre-order character, so they're
sort of like it's not necessarily. It's like register the game within the first 50 days or something.
Oh, okay. So early purchase, post-release character.
Right.
Piranha Plant, which is a strange choice. Piranha Plant's okay. That's interesting.
It looks cool. It's just a really left field pick.
Yeah. But there are also 5 unannounced DLC characters that come with stages and music. I think they're $6 a piece for the character, their stage, and their associated music, or like $25 in a season pass. I saw some people sort of wrinkling, not getting really upset, but kind of, crinkling their nose at the price. But $6 for a fighter and a stage and some music is not.
Yeah, no, that's fine, because you get the stage, too. I think it was just the fighter. I mean, Axis charges that much for just a fighter.
Yeah.
I think Axis charges that much just for color palettes, actually. But but no, I think with the coming with a stage, that's fine. That's a fine price.
Yeah, I agree. And so we got to look at 2 big modes in the game. We got Spirits, which was people sort of like broke that code. Like that was interesting. Where like people originally Sakurai showed a picture of the menu, and there was an option on the menu that was censored, and people figured out what the censored image said. It said Spirits. And Spirits is just another way for the game to cram in a million more characters beyond the playable characters, which is like 70-something, beyond all the Pokeballs and beyond the assist trophies. These are like just a gajillion different, like hundreds of video game characters that you can earn and then equip to gain different stat benefits in battle. And
I mean, it's sort of like stickers in Brawl, right?
I don't recall the sticker system in Brawl. I didn't play a lot. I didn't care for Brawl. It just felt slow and clumsy, and then it had the weird tripping thing in it. It just didn't do it for me.
Okay.
But it seems like an interesting way to get. I mean, that's where Isaac is. So
they're 2D pictures though. They're not like trophies. Sakurai said there's no trophies this time, so you just get a bunch of 2D pictures.
Oh wait, Isaac was an assist trophy. How did Isaac show up?
He was an assist trophy.
He was an assist trophy, yeah.
I'm sure he'll have a sticker, too, because there's a million of them.
That's pretty cool. There's also, like, unique
stickers.
Battles to, like, unlock the stickers and stuff, so that's I think that's a neat way to include more characters.
And there's some, like, deep picks in there. Like, there's Shantae is one of the pictures in there.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's deeper cuts than Shantae, but...
I mean... That's not a Nintendo property in any way, shape, or form, so it's just interesting.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the pirate, right?
She's a genie. She's in Pirates games. Like she has was on the Pirate's Curse or something like that. She has pirate games.
She's purple hair.
Yes.
Yep,
okay.
that's her.
I've seen the box art.
It's around. Some Shantae games around here. Most of them aren't good. So that's Spirits. And then there's also a story mode called World of Light where every character is obliterated except for Kirby. So we now accept Kirby as our new god.
Kirby's OP, man.
Kirby's the best.
Have no idea how that's going to play, I guess. Looks like there's some sort of world map, some unique battles. I don't know if it's going to be as fucking crazy as Subspace Emissary, but...
what I read, and I didn't verify this because who cares? Let's just spread false information on this podcast.
Who gives a shit?
I read that the Japanese Direct made it explicit that cutscene is like the only cutscene in the game.
And see, I find that disappointing, actually.
Yeah.
Because, like, the weird, bizarre cuts... I mean, the Subspace Emissary did not make any sense as, like, a narrative. It was stupid. But
it was cool to see all these characters together.
Right, and, like, just cool poses. I mean, it was just 100% fan service. But I think that's a major component of Smash is fan service.
That's all of it.
I don't know. I want to go that far.
That's all of it. That's the entire reason.
It's a decent fighter too.
No, it's fun, but it's fun to. I mean, just like the hype that's surrounded about which characters are going to get announced and stuff. It's obvious. It's like very fan service blah 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 fan service driven.
That's true. Yeah, you're right. So yeah, it looks pretty good. Excited to play Smash. Comes out here pretty soon.
I saw that like Sakurai's all like the 5 DLC characters have been finalized. Please stop emailing us and tweeting at us.
Sending me Waluigi love letters. I don't need them.
Please.
I bet it's not even finalized. I think they were just sick of like having to hear from people. They're just like, shut up, shut up.
True.
We got the pics.
That's probably true.
I mean, that's what I would do. I would tell everybody.
What else we got here? We got Blizzard announced Diablo Immortal, which is a mobile Diablo game, and a lot of gamers lost their minds about this.
It's I have no hats in this race, and this is just kind of it's both sad and entertaining to me.
Yeah, there's a little bit of Schadenfreude. Like, I guess it's a little bit entertaining. I'm so frustrated with like how like grown adults just can't have like regular discourse.
Oh no, they get mad when they don't get what they want.
Like, I've seen a lot of people defend their own behavior and other people's behavior regarding this announcement. You know, with things like, you know, Blizzard announced a phone game at one of their biggest events. What do they think was going to happen? What do they think was going to happen? That you'd either buy it or you don't. Like, it's not. You're throwing a fit because you didn't get the toy you wanted. Like, that's literally what you're doing. You're a child who saw a Matchbox car at the grocery store, and now you can't have it and you're mad. I do not get it. I don't. There's no rational explanation.
And it's
that's
not even...
obviously, like, just dumb, because it's dumb just to get that invested in something that you hate. But do you think, like, Blizzard was tone deaf with this announcement?
Well, they didn't say that the game people wanted wasn't coming out. They just didn't talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, Diablo 4 has got to become. It's also like how like easily pandered to gamers can be as well. Because I saw people say, well, at least when Bethesda announced their Elder Scrolls phone game, they had the wherewithal to also show a logo to the next Elder Scrolls console game or PC game or whatever. And I'm like, they showed you a fucking logo. Like, that's all it took? Like, I don't... Like, you know... I mean, if that's all it takes is to know that the game is coming, you must know that Diablo 4 is coming at some point. Like, you must know that. And if you're just so easily, brought down from vitriol and anger by a logo, I think... I mean... It's time for some introspective, man. I don't know. You can't... that's nuts.
I mean, Nintendo went through this, though. They released the Metroid Prime Federation Force, and just everybody lost their mind, and then they later on had years later, but just had to show a Metroid Prime 4 logo just to appease people.
Yeah.
Just be like, this is what you people want? You want a fucking logo? Here's a logo.
And it's nuts. It's all... I mean, on the one hand, you could argue, it's like, just show the logo. It makes them happy. But on the other hand, like who... What... I don't understand, like, the fact that, like, the existence of a game that you don't have to play, that could be... I mean, it's for someone else, dude. It's fine. That makes you angry, but, like, you just see a logo and you're like, oh, we're good here. It's fine.
Well, I think pandering to them certainly encourages this behavior, too. Right? Like, oh, well, next time we've learned we have to show them this logo so that they don't tweet about it. And so they don't learn that they shouldn't be a bunch of babies.
I also think that in some ways, like, I don't think they realize that they're being a bunch of babies, right?
Right, of course not.
So, like...
Because then they'd be embarrassed.
No, I don't even think it's that. I think what it is, well, that's part of it. But I think really what it is like, the discourse has gotten so far to, like, this level that they don't see the difference between... there's not, a world of difference between being an asshole because you're upset and, like, being reasonable and being upset. So, like, for instance, at BlizzCon, someone came up to the microphone and they had, like, a Q&A, and he's like, I just want to know if this is an early April Fool's joke.
Yeah, I read that.
And it's like... And you know people are going to defend it like, oh, he's just asking a question. He's not... No, he's being an asshole on purpose. Like, he knows it's not a joke. You know it's not a joke. He's not just asking a question. He's being a dick. And you know he's being a dick. Or maybe you don't. Like, maybe the discourse has been so dragged to that point that that's just seen as, like, how you reasonably express your disappointment. Not like, hey, I'm not digging what I'm seeing here. You said this game is for hardcore Diablo fans, but I'm not so sure about that. What about this game makes it for hardcore Diablo fans? Boom! That's how you express your disappointment. And
Greg, what the fuck was that? People don't do that. Don't be reasonable. Jesus Christ.
But I actually wonder if, like, the discourse has been dragged so far to that point that they just don't even see the daylight between those two things. It's the same thing to them.
It's fine to be upset about, like, something, but
sure.
You don't have to be a dick.
I'm cranky all the fucking time about things. Like, but,
and once you find out something's, like, not for you, you kind of just you got to move on from that. You can't just get, like, fixated on it and just, like, hate it for eternity, you know?
There's so
because that's another thing people do. They'll talk about how much they hate this game for, like, years.
Mm-hmm.
There's just so many things to play. I can understand the disappointment, especially if you're a big Diablo fan. I get it. It's been 6 years since Diablo 3 came out, 4 years since the last expansion. It is a live service game, but I can understand wanting something brand new. Of course, I get it. I completely understand the disappointment. I can understand the disappointment. I can understand tweeting about the disappointment. I can understand making a video about the disappointment. I don't understand these other things that are happening, though. And it's not everyone. It's not every gamer, and it's not every person who's disappointed, but there's certainly a noticeable portion of the audience doing this. It's just like, take the L, go play something else. Like, this isn't for you. It's not even a bad business move for Blizzard to do this. Like, a lot of popular games are moving towards like a free-to-play live service mobile element, whether that's... I mean, we still see kids playing Minecraft mobile.
Yup. Like,
recently, like, kids, like, multiple kids playing. Like,
our nephew plays
it mobile, like, Fortnite. Even Blizzard themselves have success in this space with, like, Hearthstone and, what's their MOBA, Heroes of the Storm? They have success in this space. It makes perfect sense that they would do this. And you can look at it and go, well, that's not for me. That's not what I want. Okay, that's fine. It's not for you then. Maybe it's for, the kids that are playing Fortnite and Minecraft and Hearthstone. Maybe it's targeted more towards them. Let them have it. It's fine. You can play the next one. I'm getting worked up because it upsets me. I just don't...
No, I understand it. It's,
Blizzard is obligated to make games just for them and no one else.
Yeah.
End of story.
I don't know how we've gone through this whole conversation without even using the word entitlement.
I think I said it.
Oh, okay. My bad.
I mean, that's basically the summation. They feel entitled.
Yeah. It's just very,
Yeah, no, it's frustrating because I just... And this is why people like me or us, I don't want to speak for you guys, but like this is why I struggle to like identify myself as like a gamer. Not every gamer is like this, of course. Maybe not even most of them aren't, but enough of them are to where like you're dragging the rest of us down when you do stuff like this. I feel like I don't want to identify with a community or a group. It makes it difficult to do that for me. I feel like.
Yeah, no, that's exactly where I am, man. That's exactly it. There's so many toxic people. There's so many toxic people just everywhere.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. It's frustrating.
And it's no different here.
Yep. All right, well, moving on to the next story piece. We have Rockstar forces a review site to pay $1.3 million, I think to charity, not to Rockstar. I think it went to
Yeah,
charity.
went to a charity. Or a few charities or something.
Which I don't think is any better. So basically, this website, Trusted Reviews, which I've never been to, but sometimes they pop up in like Apple News feed, or like I think I've seen like their listing on Metacritic or something. I'm aware of them, but I've never been to the site. They had some news about some. I think it was Rockstar plans for Red Dead Redemption 2 online, and it was from an internal document. And they posted that news, and Rockstar, I think, under the threat of like suing them, said you got to pay $1.3 million to charity. I don't know. And I think after like last episode, where like we dragged Rockstar for crunch and the Rockstar executives for making like $500 million, this doesn't make them look any better.
This Kotaku article that you linked to, though, they say that they don't. There's not enough like pieces of the story. They say that they don't know if like Trusted Reviews actually obtained this through illegal means, or if they just got it from a leaker or what. Because that makes a bit of a difference. If it's just a general leak and they were under no obligation to keep this news silent, then yeah, man, just fucking they should be able to post whatever they want. But I don't know.
That's true. But the fact that like we don't know that, but we can also like picture a world where they got this because some whistleblower sent it to them. They got it through some completely innocuous means, and Rockstar still went after them. Like you can picture that world.
Right. No, absolutely.
Still, to me, like kind of casts a bad light on like these relationships with publishers and video game journalists. It's frustrating. It's weird. It's also weird because, like, in a general sense, I'm speaking very generally here, but I see a lot of gamers wanting video game sites to act more like journalists. And actually, from my perspective, Kotaku is probably one of the biggest ones that does that. I think Kotaku, for like news, like stuff that's not like just like PR stuff, like actual reporting, hard reporting. And right. I would also say like Waypoint for like, fantastic editorials. But people I don't know what they want them, because then they complain about this. Like the first, when I linked this, this Kotaku article, British website forced to pay $1.3 million over Red Dead. That's what I linked. You can find it on Kotaku. That's what I linked to you guys. But the first comment at that time may have changed over time. I don't know how the system does it, but the first comment was someone defending Rockstar.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, gamers will still go to bat. Like, they'll say things like, oh, but you're ruining the surprise, or you're ruining their marketing plans. And I'm like, who are you in favor for? Like, are you going to bat for the big company, or are you, going to go to bat for, I mean, this is as close to journalism as video game journalism gets. This is as close as we get.
That's the hobby, man. It's breaking news.
And the fact that people are like, nah, man, you can't be doing that. I'm like, then what's the point of a video game news site?
Otherwise, you're just a marketing tool.
And that's what a lot of publishers see news sites at. And that's why we can picture a world where Rockstar does something like this, because most publishers, especially big name publishers, absolutely view video game websites as an extension of their PR.
Right. And, people might ask, well, if they didn't do anything illegal, why don't they just like fight this claim? And that's because that's just expensive.
Right.
It's expensive to go to court.
Yeah.
It's probably not worth it.
No, absolutely not.
Not
not for no.
So no, that's shitty.
Yep. And I mean, the only way it isn't shitty is if they did like obtain this document through nefarious means. I don't really know what that would look like either. Like, how do you? Yeah,
like,
how does
they hack? Do they hack into their servers or
how
something?
How does a B-tier site steal these documents? Like fucking Inspector Gadget, like flying through their fucking window with a helicopter hat? Like, I don't know. I don't know how that would work.
Definitely the helicopter hat.
Go Gadget document theft.
Gotta post it on my website.
On my GeoCity site.
Angel Fire.
Penny whips out her fucking book and posts it on Angel Fire.
Aw. Penny.
All right, so moving on to the next news piece, we got the full lineup for the PlayStation Classic. Just super quick, I'm going to blaze through these. Battle Arena Toshiden, Cool Borders 2, Destruction Derby, Final Fantasy VII, Grand Theft Auto, Intelligent Cube, Jumping Flash, Metal Gear Solid, Mr. Driller, Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey, Rayman, Resident Evil Director's Cut, Revelations Persona, Ridge Racer Type 4, Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo, Siphon Filter, Tekken 3, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six, Twisted Metal, and Wild Arms. And the general consensus seems to be disinterest.
Yeah. No. I mean, they got a few good ones in there, but
I posted this on Twitter, I think yesterday, and I'm not trying to be provocative or and of course I'm going to be accused of being a Nintendo fanboy more than I already am. But here's the thing: I look at this list and I go, actually, this is a pretty decent representation of the PlayStation 1. The problem here is not that this list sucks. The problem here is that the list doesn't suck. It's actually decent, and you still don't care. That's the problem.
But everybody who doesn't care is like, well, why isn't this game on there? Why isn't that game on there?
Well,
and I think that's the PS1 had a far larger library than the N64, so I think a lot of people played probably a lot more different games. Like, you could come down to a more readily consensus of what the best N64 games were compared to people narrowing down their top 20
I don't think
PS1 games.
Even as you look at the SNES Classic, the NES Classic, and then also here, in all three cases, it's not even about necessarily the best. I think it's about providing a well-rounded representation.
Right.
In which case, you're not going to have everything, and you're not going to have everyone's pet favorite. My favorite PS1 game is Star Ocean: The Second Story. If that was on here, it wouldn't be a huge upset because it's a good game, but I'm not surprised that it isn't. You're not going to get all your games. That's not to say that there aren't obvious issues with this list. Like, the first Rayman sucks. I don't know why he's on there. Where's Crash? Where's Spyro?
I was going to say Spyro.
Yeah, they're not on here. I don't I like Wild Arms, but that probably should be Legend of Dragoon instead. I think I prefer Wild Arms over Legend of Dragoon, but just from a nostalgia perspective, that game should probably be on there. So I don't disagree with the consensus that this list could be better and that there are obvious issues with it. But broadly speaking, Cool Borders 2 was definitely a popular game. Final Fantasy VII, the first Grand Theft Auto, Jumping Flash was a seminal game, Metal Gear Solid, Oddworld, the first Resident Evil, Ridge Racer was huge for the PS1. Maybe not as Type 4, but Ridge Racer in general was a big deal that the PlayStation could play real-time 3D arcade graphics. Tekken, Siphon Filter, Twisted Metal. These are all notable. That's half the fucking list I just read off. These are all very notable PlayStation 1 releases. And I think
GTA 1 is weird, though, because GTA 2 was a lot better of a game. I don't know why they went with the first one over the second one.
Yeah, in Final Fantasy 9, it's better than Final Fantasy 7.
Well, I feel like more people like 7, though. That's just a bigger game in general. I feel like GTA 2 was bigger than 1, right?
Well, you got the same... Probably because... Yeah, I don't know what makes them pick what they pick, because we have Ridge Racer Type 4 here. I don't know why they pick the ones that they pick. They pick Resident Evil 1, but not Resident Evil 2, which is obviously the not only the better game, but the more popular game.
Well, with those third-party games, too, I guess it's up to...
Right, they might be at the mercy of that. I think for me, I'm just guessing here, I'm just spitballing, but I think really honestly the bigger problem is that the kinds of games that the PlayStation 1 nurtured, the mature games for mature gamers, I don't think they age well. And I'm not talking about necessarily graphics or even playability. They might be very playable. I mean, the PlayStation 1 games look like hot ass now, but even with that aside, the thing is, a lot of games like these, a lot of games like fighting games and racing games and action games, particularly when they're part of a series, are generally built upon better graphics and incremental iterations. So, you look at something like Ridge Racer Type 4, when you're on like a modern Ridge Racer and you've played a modern Ridge Racer, who the hell wants to like play the same game but like with worse graphics and worse physics and fewer cars and fewer tracks? Fucking nobody.
Yeah.
These sorts of games, I don't think lend themselves. I mean, you can be nostalgic over these, and I can certainly respect that. But you're not going to pop in Ridge Racer Type 4 and like play that beginning to end. I guarantee very few people are going to be doing that. And this is because those kinds of games don't lend themselves to revisiting them. I mean, you compare that with something like, say, like, again, Nintendo fanboy coming through here, beep, beep, but, like Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, Galaxy, Odyssey, I mean, they all share the same DNA because they're all from the same series, but they all have conceits all their own that make them worth revisiting. We deride gimmicks contemporaneously, but in retrospect, gimmicks are often what makes solid games worth coming back to.
Yeah, I'm looking at the list. And it's funny because like Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo is probably one of the games that will still hold up because that's just a fucking fun game. But yeah, I could see like probably like 3 or 4, 5 games maybe that I would be interested in playing again. But like a lot of them are just like I have no desire to play any of them.
I think Metal Gear Solid's aged well. I talked about that a few episodes ago. I think that's a great game, but I also paid $10 for it on my Vita. Most of these are noteworthy games. These are not like just picks they picked out of their ass. These are noteworthy games, and the fact that you can still look at these and go, I think just says something more about the PlayStation than it does this pick. And I'm not ragging entirely on the PlayStation. There are games on it that I like too. And Nintendo's not immune to it either. Like, I don't want to play the first Mario Kart. Who the fuck wants to do that? I don't.
Nah.
I don't even want to play Mario Kart 7 when I have Mario Kart 8. Like, why would I want to do that? So it's just that these kinds of games, the kind of games that were, so prominent on the PlayStation 1, I just don't think they, even when they're still solid games, I just don't think that they lend themselves well to being revisited.
The Japanese version has different games on it. They've got some switched around, and they have like more RPGs and a couple shooters, which I think is maybe even a better way to go because RPGs are unique because they got their story that you want to follow along with. They got like Arc the Lad 1 and 2, and they have Parasite Eve on there, and then they got G Darius and Gradius Gaiden.
Yeah,
so they got some shooters.
See, arcade style stuff is sometimes worth coming back to. Arc the Lad is those are bears.
I've never played those games.
They're bears. Parasite Eve is good. That's worth coming back to. I don't know why we have Revelations. Well, that's not true. I know why we have Revelations Persona, and that's because Persona's taken on a life of its own. But that game has not aged well. It's not terribly similar to modern Personas. And because Atlas took forever to fucking decide on a brand name for Persona. I half wonder if there are people that don't even realize that's the first Persona. It looks like a game called Revelations with a Persona subtitle.
Right. Some of these are good. Oddworld's fun.
Oddworld is fun. That's a lot of the good ones that you can play in other places. You can play Final Fantasy VII elsewhere if you want to. Metal Gear Solid you can. I'm pretty sure Abe's Odyssey you can as well.
Yeah, I think Abe's Odyssey got a remake just recently. So.
Right. Resident Evil has had a couple remakes or something, a couple re-releases?
That's had one remake that they've ported to literally every single system.
Ridge Racer is the guest that you don't invite but shows up to every party. He's on the game's on every fucking system. I mean, who wants to play that first Rainbow Six without analog sticks? Nobody wants to do that.
No. I didn't even like that game on Dreamcast, man.
Yeah, no, I was never a big fan of Rainbow Six. Like, do you really want to go back and play the first Twisted Metal?
No. Like, why Twisted Metal 1? That's another thing. Like, what?
I don't know. But it really would it be dramatically different if it was like Twisted Metal 2, though? It's a better game. There's no doubt about that. But would that suddenly go, yeah, fuck yeah, I'm going to go out and spend $100 on this? You're not going to do that. These games just have not aged well. They're not. I don't think that they're unique. I don't think that their earlier iterations are unique enough to be worth revisiting.
There are people who grew up with the PS1 who are like vehemently disagreeing with you right now while listening to this. It was their system of choice growing up. It's what they had.
I don't doubt that, but like you can go online and almost all of I've not seen one person who says this list is great.
That's true.
I have not seen. I mean, and so like I'm generalizing, but I'm also like that's my experience. I've not seen one. Not one person's, no, I really love that list. Everyone's like, eh. No one said it sucked either. They just don't care.
So, but your argument is that there's not really a list that would make people happy because the PS1 is just kind of meh.
Well, yeah, but I'm kind of saying that. I'm also saying that, like, if someone said, well, if there's just Crash on there, it would be worth it. If you're just saying that it only needs one game, then to me, like that's sort of like you're sort of implying you're not saying it, but you're implying that like the rest of the games are actually fine. That you would spend $100. You're not going to spend $100 just for Crash. So to me, when people say like, oh, it just needs Crash or it just needs Spyro, a couple of tweaks here, you're basically saying that the list is okay as it is, because you're not going to buy it for just those one or two games you're suggesting should be on the list. And if that's the case, then to me, that's just this is not very inspiring. If it only takes...
this is a weird, shitty list.
I'm not going to go so far as to say it's shitty.
It's fucking shitty.
I mean, if I were to, I would be like, yeah, list. Let's get some Star Ocean on there. Let's get Brave Fencer Musashi. Like, I have my picks, but I don't think I could pick a 20 slot roster for this system. I don't think I could do it. It would have some filler. Like, it's...
I mean, if I did, it wouldn't look anything like this.
Well, no, me neither. But that's not what it's about. It's about sort of, like, representing the system, right? Yeah. And I think that this does an okay job. Not a perfect job, not a great job, but an okay job of representing the PlayStation 1. And it's not that interesting.
So, what about the abilities of the PS1?
It doesn't sound like it has a lot. So there's no screen filter options. A number of news sites have noted that. I don't really care about that. I mean, the NES and the SNES has them. I don't care about the scan lines. Kotaku says that some of them are the PAL version, which runs at a different refresh rate. That's not great.
No, it's weird, too, because, I mean, I'm assuming they're playing... No, because, you said, like, Final Fantasy VII was US version, but load up Tekken 3, it's the PAL version. Like, why would you put different versions of the games on the system?
Probably has something to do with the emulation, I would guess. That's my best guess.
You don't fucking know.
No, I don't know. That's why I just said that's my best guess. I
was asking a rhetorical question. You had actually answered that shit with a stupid fucking answer. Jesus
How
Christ.
How is that a stupid answer? I think that's a very reasonable answer.
No, because there's emulators that have been running these US versions fine forever. It's not.
Well, I think it's a matter of like, yes, but I think it's a matter of like, do they emulate them to the standard that Sony wants to sell them?
Yes.
Obviously not.
Probably. They're using an open source emulator. They just grabbed an emulator off the internet. That's their emulator for this thing.
I don't think they just grabbed an emulator.
No, they grabbed an emulator.
I know, right. I know it's an open source, but I don't understand why that's like a point of interest. I don't know why people are pointing it out.
It's just. I think that it's just that people are like, oh, Sony didn't bother. I mean, yeah, if there's an emulator that works, then obviously great. But how do I put this? It's like a contention point for people because then they're like, oh, well, why are you even selling us for this much if you didn't put in the work on an emulator? But it's like, no, you're fucking buying the games. You shouldn't even care what's making them run.
Yeah,
as long as they're running correctly.
If it's a good emulator, yeah. I think Frank Cifaldi, who does what's his company? His company does all those anthologies. They just did the SNK one.
Digital Eclipse.
So, that guy's changed my entire outlook on emulation. I'm totally in favor of emulation and using that as a matter of preservation.
Right.
And he said, listen, like this is a good emulator. Why would Sony invest in building a completely separate. I mean, why are they wasting money doing that when there's a perfectly good one right here? It's a good emulator. And I'm like, oh, all right. That guy knows what he's talking about when it comes to emulators, so I'm going to go with what he says.
Yeah.
And as for saving, each game has its own virtual memory card. A whole memory card just for each game, and then there's also like one like save state slot for each game.
Right. Which isn't a lot, but I don't know. Depending on the game, it could be. It's nice having 4 on the like NES and SNES Classic. It's nice having more than one quick save slot, especially if there's like multiple people playing the system.
Right. Exactly. And you read this last bit of news. I'm getting hoarse.
All right.
I'm delegating. What do you want from me?
You can't delegate to me.
Square Enix like held a live stream about Final Fantasy 15, and then like it turned out it was mostly bad news about Final Fantasy 15. They're like, be excited for this. The director left our company. So yeah, Hajime Tabata left Square Enix. He's done. He's out. He's out of the company completely. I think he's been there since like the early 2000s. Now he's left to start his own company. The development team on this, on Final Fantasy 15, Luminous, who has been continuing support with the game with DLC episodes. They've already released 3, and there's 1 more planned. There were 4 more planned, but 3 of them were canceled, so there's now only 1 more coming. They're moving off of Final Fantasy and going on to a new AAA game. And there's a multiplayer... why? See, this is the games of service. Final Fantasy 15 is being run as a games of service, and it's weird because it's a single-player RPG. That was getting a multiplayer mode added to it, but now that's going to be like a completely standalone game. And if you have bought that, like in the season pass or whatever, you'll get a download for the standalone game instead. So just a bunch of like weird shit going on over there at Square Enix, and I guess they posted like a $33 million loss related to all of this.
Related to this shakeup, or related to Final Fantasy 15, like in a general sense?
No, just related to this shakeup. And I don't know the exact specifics on it. Like, I don't know if that's the reason that they decided to cancel future DLC and move on to other stuff, or if their whole like re-situating of the studio caused not entirely sure, but not good stuff for them over there.
I actually think it's a good idea that this stuff. I mean, I don't know if they sold a season pass. If they did, that's kind of fucked up, but. I don't think that Final Fantasy 15 needs like a trickle of content. Like it
was a weird decision.
I could see some DLC. Like that's fine. It's a modern Final Fantasy. It's a Final Fantasy for the modern age, and that's okay. Fine, sure, some DLC. I don't see why it needs so much of it, or a multiplayer mode, or any of that. And Final Fantasy is not what it used to be. Like Final Fantasy 15, I liked it, and it seemed to be well received. But it kind of left the collective conscience of gamers some time ago, and it's not going to come back. Like this DLC mode's not going to bring it back. This multiplayer mode's not going to bring it back. So to me, like it's sort of almost like a wasted effort. It's not necessary.
Yeah, it's just. But I'm just curious about Tabata leaving because I don't know if that was. Square Enix wasn't happy with him. He wasn't happy being there. I don't know. It's I don't know. It's a big shakeup. It's a big shakeup going on over there. But I agree with you. It was weird just to try to do Final Fantasy as a games of service for a single player RPG. It's weird. It's weird. But it's coming to an end. And they did do a season pass, but the season pass was completed last year. They did like 3 download episodes that did come out last year and some other shit. So everybody got what they paid for in that regard.
Seth, what you got for us on the mailbag? Let's do mailbag.
I closed the tab because I'm an idiot.
We're all having trouble today.
So for mailbag, and I'm trying to like type really quietly so the microphone doesn't pick it up. All right. I remember. No, okay, I got it. It's up. We got it. Okay, so here we go. Jay says, any deals you are looking for this holiday season on games that you have been trying to get a discount? I'm seeing some deals on Starlink that have me intrigued. Dude, don't get Starlink unless it's like $10 or something.
Haven't you been listening to Ludowave Radio?
Yeah. I beat the game, and then like there's like post-game content, and then the post-game content was bringing down those 3 huge battleships again that I already did. It just reuses everything over and over.
Wait, so wants you to do the same stuff you already did as post-game content?
Yep. It's like, here's the dreadnoughts again. Go take them down. I was like, nah, good. Anyways, well, you earlier on the episode, you almost
and you stopped. It was a mailbag spoiler. I had to stop talking.
Yeah. Yep.
So the two that I'm hoping to get, Target has Assassin's Creed Odyssey for $35 and Shadow of the Tomb Raider for $30. So those are 2 games I want to play, and for $65, I'll play them. But those are good. Those are good prices on 2 noteworthy games released this year, or at least 1 noteworthy game and 1 footnote.
Right.
So I don't expect those to stick around long. And I'm not going to go. Apparently, they're opening at like 5:00 on Thanksgiving. I'm like, you guys are fucking idiots.
Yeah, no, I only do online deals for Black Friday because I can't handle stores.
Well,
that.
I've gone out like, Friday, like later in the day, and it's usually not nearly as bad. But you also don't get deals like that.
Right.
So we're going to try online because the deal is good for online. We're going to try that and hope it goes through. Maybe Amazon will do something similar. Oftentimes they match what other people are doing. But those are the 2 that I want, and that's really it. Usually I'm not a Black Friday guy, but I've been a little more conservative with my video game spending this year, and so I'd like to get those 2 on the cheap.
Megan, anything?
No. Nope. I'll probably still be playing Fallout 76.
How about just like
anything?
Anything in general that you want to get on sale for Black Friday? Anything you're looking forward to?
Well, I was looking at an air fryer.
Ooh, my girlfriend has one.
And how is it?
It's awesome. Like especially for like reheating things like French fries or stuff like that. It's like it makes French fries edible again. You can reheat some great stuff.
Do you have to like spray it with oil or something?
I'm trying to remember. I don't think so.
Okay.
I love how timid you were to say you wanted an air fryer, and it's like, no, fuck no, we'll talk about air fryers. It's fine.
Air fryers are great.
Yeah, no, and she's like made some like really good chicken in them and stuff. No, they're great. I like them.
Yes, we don't have any space,
and we don't eat meat,
but you can make French
potatoes
fries.
and like potato wedges and stuff. Potatoes cook really good.
I'm sold on potatoes. I mean, you got me there.
Yeah, no,
it's know how it works.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, I don't tend to do Black Friday stuff.
All right. I want to get Monster Hunter World because I see some places that have it for $20.
Ooh.
And I want to get Just Dance 2019 for my girlfriend because some places have that for $25, which seem like pretty good deals.
What platform?
Switch.
Does that use like the Joy-Cons, like the Wii remotes on the Wii for that?
Yeah. Yeah, sure does.
Right on, man.
And an interesting fact, you could still buy Just Dance 2019 for the Wii.
For the Wii.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
You could get it on Wii, Wii U, and Switch.
It's probably like very inexpensive for Ubisoft to do that, and if they just sell a few copies, they're probably happy with that. There's still I'm sure they've done some research and there's still an audience there for them.
Yeah, probably.
I'd play it if we didn't have downstairs neighbors.
Would you really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Next question. Where are we? Cam says, if Microsoft made an Xbox Classic console, what games would you like to see on it?
Well, it would weigh 17 pounds instead of 30.
No, it would be tiny. First of all, I think online would be like a must for this thing because that was like big component of
Yep.
the original Xbox, right?
But how do you simplify that? Would it just, because I look at these things. The thing is, like, on the one hand, I agree with you, but on the other hand, I feel like the value in these is like the simplicity that you buy, like this little tiny Raspberry Pi kind of box, and you just plug it in, and it just works, and it's just there's all your games.
I agree, but at the same time, it's really hard to come up like with a list of 20 games for Xbox that are still good without the online component to them.
Conker's Bad Squirrel Day. Fur Day. Whatever. He's a squirrel. I played it.
I'm making
and the
this
online one.
I'm typing this list up. All right, Conker's Bad Fur Day is one.
You got to know it's Conker's Bad Squirrel Day.
Bad Squirrel Day.
Right, my bad.
Conker's Bad to Fur Day.
I think we found the name of the episode. Is what that's.
Whoops. I said it so confidently too.
Megan
did. I was like,
not
yes, she's
extremely
committing to
online
this.
as we are.
That's fine. I have a Twitter that I never check. They can tell me how I'm bad at names.
All right, Craig. I know that you're going to say Advent Rising needs to be on this.
No, I absolutely, Advent Rising. I think, actually, here's the funny thing. I actually think it would. I think you could build a much more interesting Xbox Classic than you can a PlayStation Classic.
No, let's do it. Let's do it right now.
So Advent Rising.
All right.
I think Halo is. I mean, I'm not
Obviously.
I'm right. It's an obvious. I'm not a huge Halo fan, but that's obviously got to be there.
Should all three of them be on there?
Was Halo
Might
3
as
was
well.
on 360?
Oh, Halo 3's... Yeah, that's right. Okay, so the first two.
I mean, Halo 2 was a juggernaut. So,
right.
Maybe the first two. I got nothing against. I mean, I'm not going to play them, but
That needs both of them.
sure, both of them. Advent Rising, Fable,
Okay.
Panzer Dragoon Orta,
Ooh, that's a good one. Ooh, I need Jet Set Radio Future.
Jet Set Radio
then.
Future, of course. Otogi.
What the fuck's that?
Otogi is it's like Bayonetta, but it's by From Software.
Okay.
There's two of them. There's two Otogis.
That's...
Was there
We'll
like a
add that.
Baldur's Gate sort of?
There's probably Baldur's Gate. Well, you got Knights of the Old Republic.
All right, Code Orc.
I don't know if you want to bog it down, but there's also, you can do Jade Empire.
Nah.
No.
I don't want it.
But yeah, I'd rather play Coder.
Ninja Gaiden Black needs to be on there.
Sure, okay.
That was the chair.
What was that?
The chair makes like a squeaky noise.
Your flatulence is fine. You don't have to be embarrassed by that.
Everyone must know that I am a fart machine, but
I've never disclosed that on the podcast,
okay.
but you can let them know if you
we're
like.
married now.
Yep.
It's too late.
We're all married now. Now we all know this information.
This is our beautiful commune.
You didn't marry just Craig. You married the entire podcast listeners.
Okay.
Welcome to my family.
Tweet me.
I think Psychonaut should be on there.
Yeah, that's well, if Advent Rising's got to be on there, Psychonauts is going to be on there because those two games tanked Majesco.
All right, I forgot those were the two.
They equally fucked Majesco. So,
which Dead or Alive do you think should be on there? Ultimate or 3 or what?
I hadn't considered that. Because what's on there? 3. They have Dead or Alive 2 Ultimate 3, and then I think 4 is also on there, isn't it?
Is it not Force Xbox 360?
Is it okay?
Yeah.
I would go for something completely. I would go 3.
Okay.
Was Viva Pinata on Xbox?
It was 360.
See, this is my online thing because Burnout 3 is like one of my favorite racing games, and it's just so good with the online, and not like amazing with. I mean, it's so fun without, but like the online was so fun.
Well, I mean, just like Halo 2. I mean, that was huge. That was huge on Xbox Live.
Right.
I get it. I get why that's such a key factor to the original Xbox, both to like its success and its nostalgia value. I mean, I'm not saying like it's a bad idea. I just also don't. It sort of runs counter to the simplicity.
I mean, I get where you're coming from. How about the Blinks games? Either of those, like nobody likes them, but they're like just big a part of Xbox.
Yeah, I know what. I mean, maybe the first one, but that's a big maybe. What was that? What was that one game with the blue dude that was supposed to be huge for Microsoft? I remember him.
Oh my god. I'm looking this up.
Azaric, Rise of Parathea.
That sounds like a Disney movie.
It sounds like a disease.
Yes. That's, that should be on there just...
Oh my god, I had that game. I never played it. Or I had a game that looked similar. I don't know. There was a point where we had a lot of games, but I was playing Conker's Bad Squirrel Day.
There's some Baldur's Gate on there. You got Dark Alliance 1 and 2.
Baldur's Gate. Oh, I'm sorry. Scroll back up. Barbie? Yeah, Barbie Horse Adventures.
Actually, that was funny because people would pick on... Because that was made backwards compatible on the 360, and people would complain, like, why is Barbie Horse Adventures backwards compatible on the 360, but my favorite game is...
Because Barbie's fun.
All right. I think we have like 14. Oddworld, which Munch's Odyssey or Stranger's Wrath? I mean, Stranger's Wrath is... Oh,
Stranger's Wrath is an excellent game. So, right. Okay, yeah, I can go with that.
Trying to look at the games.
What about like Crimson Skies or like Bloodwave?
Yeah, Crimson Skies is fun.
What you know what they should do? They should put Phantom Dust on there just to troll the shit out of everyone. It's a good game. Oh, Brute Force. They should do Brute Force too.
All right. What was the game where you drive around in the DeLorean and you shoot things or whatever?
On the... Sure, it's not
on
Back
the
to Future?
Xbox. It was a very big game. Let's see.
Really?
Yeah. Oh my god. Typed in DeLorean Xbox and nothing came up. What's up with that?
I think this was a fever dream of yours.
No. It was a game.
You can do Crimson Sea. It was a RPG from Koei.
What happened to Koei?
Aren't they Koei Tecmo now?
All right. I'm trying to figure out this Xbox game. All right.
Whatever.
DeLorean game?
With the DeLorean.
The Da Vinci Code.
Yeah, we're just going through a list right now. Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball. No, I don't want that on there. Hard pass.
I would play that. Ooh,
it's a lot of boobs and butts.
Right.
Oh my god, did I make this game up? I was like...
Drake of the 99 Dragons.
Ooh, Dungeons and Dragons. I'd pay for this mini Xbox.
Dynasty Warriors 1 through like 1 million. Morrowind?
I got it. It's called Reckless, the Yakuza missions.
Oh, yes, I know. Yeah, I know Reckless. I didn't realize there was a DeLorean in it.
I thought it was a DeLorean, but maybe not. What do I know?
Maybe it looks like one.
I don't know how we overlooked Morrowind. That should probably be on there.
Okay.
Pardon me, Far Cry?
Hmm?
I said, pardon me, Far Cry?
Yeah, Far Cry Instincts, yeah. It's on there.
Okay, let me look at this list. Let me count how many we have.
You should go further down the list. It's a lot of beginning of the alphabet.
Listen, it's the fucking alphabet, and I have to go through it in alphabetical order.
All right, we got 21 games right now.
Excellent, we win. Gonna go pitch it to Microsoft or whoever.
We got Grand Theft Auto 3.
I'll head it off by Conker's Bad Squirrel Day.
Thank you.
Metal Arms, Glitch in the System.
The online.
This is actually a pretty interesting list. I like this list of games.
That's why I'm saying like this list of games is more interesting than the PlayStation 1.
You could do Metal Wolf Chaos. You could put
oh hell yeah!
Get Shenmue 2.
No.
Oh, you hate Shenmue. Whatever. Shenmue 2. I'm in.
Yeah, everyone's gonna be a favorite.
They got the Fatal Frame games they could put on there.
Were those Japan only?
Nah, I own them, so
really?
I don't think so. Yeah.
Oh, Malice. You can put Malice on there.
Which one's Malice?
I think Gwen Stefani was originally supposed to be involved with that, and she supposed to be like a big the original Xbox was supposed to have so many like big mascots, like whether it was Azaric, Blinks, Malice was another one. It was like this girl with a giant hammer or something. It was
like Alice in Wonderland.
That might have been part of the inspiration. I don't know.
Oh, is that? Yeah, this looks dumb. Oh, and Fusion. Remember Fusion Frenzy?
I do. Yeah. Unfortunately,
and I was like, "There's a party game." No, the Xbox launch had so many dumb games.
Max Payne.
No, I'm done with this list.
Listen, I'm only on the M's. All right,
and of course,
this is too much dead air.
The only controllers that should come on it are two hardwired Dukes.
No, don't do that. No Dukes.
Yeah,
no
just
Dukes.
hardwired Dukes.
And then they secretly make them all like 7% bigger or some shit.
You play with your
this being so heavy.
You play with your italicized face buttons. All right.
Oh man, that's bad. No, Controller S.
Yeah, I didn't buy an Xbox until that Controller S came out because I played on the Duke and I was like, nope, I can't fucking play Tony Hawk properly on this thing.
I bought it when it was packed with Sega GT and Jet Set Radio, and I don't recall what controller was in the box. I think it was an S. I want to say it was an S, but I don't remember.
My bundle came with Crimson Skies.
It was so heavy. I remember lugging it through like the mall. I was with my girlfriend at the time, and she wanted to go to like other places, and I'm like, ugh, this is so heavy. And she's like, stop your whining, I'll carry it. And then she carried it for like a hot 5 minutes, and she's like, this is heavy. I'm like, that's what I just fucking said.
That's why you pick it up at the end of the trip, man.
Go to the food court. The pack sun.
You don't even need a table if you bring it. You just use the fucking box it came in as your table in the food court.
It was so big. Yeah, I think. Do we have any more mailbag questions?
No, that's it for the mailbag.
All right,
nice. That was fun.
We made it through this episode.
It's 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Yeah, but there was
oh, it's not quite so long. Yeah. I'm gonna edit out that goop. There's a bunch of goobly gop. It's this episode again, so I'm gonna edit that out. All right. Well, does anybody have anything like to add?
It was nice doing an episode with you, Megan.
It was lovely doing an episode with you too, Seth.
You just got to one-up me with the lovely, don't you?
Oh, that's just how I talk. Sorry.
I mean, it was all right.
No, it's fine.
It was fine.
Shut up, Craig. It was fantastic.
There won't be echoes for Megan.
We'll figure something out.
Yeah, you probably feel like a crazy person having to hear voices in your head twice.
Yeah, and I just can't be funny because it's very distracting. Which is why.
Oh, that's what it is. That's what. Mystery solved.
And I'll practice telling people about my life.
Oh, I've been doing this podcast for on and off for how many years, Craig?
We've been doing this for many years.
For many years, and I'm still terrible at it. So
I practice things I want to say before I do the episode. Not all of this. Some of this is spontaneous. I mean, you can't contain the genius all the time. But you know, I like when I come on an episode and I talk about like Mankind Divided's like level design. I've thought about that. You know,
my not this episode because fuck this episode. The last two episodes I did, I
this episode sucks. It's bad Squirrel Day.
Bad Squirrel Day.
The last two episodes I did, I actually like wrote down a bunch of notes and like everything, and I thought it went well with the episode I did with Chris, and then I thought it didn't go so well with the episode I did with just you. So I don't even know where I'm at on preparing.
Yeah, I always have a little bit of notes and a little bit of stuff I want to talk about. That's how I keep. Yeah. That's how I keep the flow going. I
feel like I messed myself up because of the notes last episode, but it helped me the episode before that. So
I don't think it was bad. Because I listened to the episodes.
You listened to the last episode was good.
Yeah.
Okay. How about the episode with me and Chris? Did you listen to that one?
Yeah. It was good.
I didn't even listen to that one.
Yeah, it was Spider-Man.
How do you feel I did between those two episodes? Like, which episode was I better at?
Oh, Seth, I couldn't tell you that because I really don't remember.
Oh my god, you didn't listen to either of them.
I did, though.
I
just listened to a lot of podcasts.
She's a very supportive wife.
All right.
And friend.
Right? I get
friend zoned by my wife?
No.
I think she was talking about me, but
No,
I think I'm
no.
getting support by proxy.
Right.
Getting support by proxy
Yeah.
over here. All right.
Well,
Well, thank you, Megan.
Thank you.
All right.
And everybody else.
Yes,
They listened this long.
thank you, everyone else. Thank you for listening. You can find the episode, you can find the podcast, the entire podcast on SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/Ludowave Radio. You can download, you can stream, you can subscribe, rate, comment, all that there. Downloading is especially useful for people who don't like to use podcast apps. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, all of those things. And if you have just literally a minute, review us in one of those, particularly Apple Podcasts. It is very helpful for us. It's very good for our ego. Makes us feel good. We'd appreciate it. You can also find us on Twitter and Facebook at Ludowave Radio on both. Our theme song is composed exclusively for us by Morning Moon and Mercury. You can find more of his stuff at morningmoonandmercury.bandcamp.com. You can find me, Craig, on Twitter and Instagram. I'm at TV and Lust on both. Seth, where can people find you?
I'm on Twitter at Seth Gastelum. And Megan?
I'm on Instagram at Desperately Seeking Salsa.
And we're out.
Fantastic.
What'd you say?
Fantastic. I love that name.
Salsa's the best.